Today is the last vPub before we break up for summer. So, of course, in my head, I'm thinking about summer whiskies and the type of whiskies that I'm in the mood to enjoy when the weather is a little bit warmer. Apologies to everyone in the Southern Hemisphere. Of course, it's the exact opposite for you guys right now, but hopefully it's not that difficult for you to imagine summertime for the rest of us up north. What we're going to do tonight is have a bit of a gamified session with summer whiskies. We're not just going to sit and have a bottle parade tonight. We're not just going to kind of have recommendations and things like that, but we will weave recommendations into a gamified format. I know a lot of you have seen it before. We've done this for festive whiskies and other things in the past, but tonight we're going to focus on doing that with summer whiskies. Some good pals who are involved regularly in recommending whiskies are playing along tonight, and I'm looking forward to welcoming them shortly. And Menno will join us for a quiz at the end as well. We will also be seeing a return of Bottleships. Hope you're looking forward to it. I certainly am. I can't wait. I need to get some soda water in my mixed drink. I'll have that done by the time we're on the other side. I'll see you all. Hello, whiskey folk. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the vPub. Welcome to a vPub that is certain to give us some technical difficulties tonight. I noticed that my sound has already been dropping out at the beginning, like it always does for the first few seconds. Hopefully it's okay and you can hear me now. I think probably the reason for some of the problems is I was a wee bit late in getting my drink together, but it's in the glass now, and you can see just because of how clammy, warm and sticky it is here, it's a long drink tonight. I hope that's okay. There will be drams along a wee bit later. Welcome everyone. Terrific stuff. Yes, sorry we went live a wee bit late. There are some technical difficulties behind the scenes. No doubt we'll struggle a wee bit with things tonight, but we have to try and make it work. And it's always the same when people come on and things. The setup's never the same each time, but we try and battle through. We've always managed to do these things in the past. I'm looking forward to hanging out with three friends tonight. And these three friends, like I say, are involved in through their hobby, through their passion, or through their jobs, or maybe in some cases a hybrid of both, either the YouTube space or the retail space. They are involved in regularly making whiskey recommendations. Now, that might mean that it's a very specific recommendation for a specific type of palate, a specific character, a specific preference, or a specific season, like we're in right now. It's kind of an odd thing to consider that maybe are there whiskies that are just good for summer or whiskies that are just good for winter? Well, no, not at all. But I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that there are certain styles and characters of whiskey, just the same as anything else, you know, environment, clothing, food, whatever it is that we're drawn to in the warmer months. It's no different for whiskey. I find myself always going for lighter, brighter, fresher, fruitier whiskies. Often ex-bourbon, cask matured and things like that, but not exclusively. So we want a bit of interaction here. By all means, I'll do my best. It's always difficult when there's lots of guests on, but I'll do my best to interact with you guys as much as I can. But please, it makes it all the more valuable for the whole session tonight if you guys are recommending your favorite summer pours. And maybe are you just sipping them neat as you always would, or are you want to occasionally reach for a long whiskey drink, a mixed drink? A lot of people kind of think it's crazy that I do this and I should be sipping it neat and things, but if I held up a gin and tonic or something, or a beer, that, you know, I wouldn't be criticized. So why shouldn't I make my long drink whiskey themed as well? This is fantastic. This is just a highball. There's some soda in here on the top of the dregs of the last of my Cutty Sark Prohibition. This is a fantastic blend, really flavorful. I would suggest to you for a blend. It's helped along by its magical 50% ABV as well. And it's really, really inexpensive. I recently saw this for less than £20 on offer. But even if you're paying the recommended price for it, you rarely go above 30. It's usually between 20 and £30. And it's an excellent, excellent whiskey for summertime. Neat, of course, with a bit of water in it, sure. An ice cube in it, excellent. But it holds that flavour really well. I think it's helped by that amplified ABV at 50%. If you're having it in a tall drink and a mixed drink. And I know for a fact that it's Helen Widdowson's, one of our barflies favourites. And it was her recommendation just earlier today that put me in the mind for making this as my long drink tonight. Anyway, that's the plans for tonight. Lots of gamification ahead. Let's get on with it. But before we welcome in our guests, let's do what we always do and hop in to the lounge and welcome some of you beautiful whiskey folk and dedicated barflies. This is the last vPub. I'll be back again at the end of August, but there's quite a few weeks. There are some people stepping forward to take some weeks during the holidays, so it won't be 6 weeks of dark. There will be places for you to go. Two of the people that are in tonight are going to be hosting pop-up vPubs over the summer. And there's also a chance that maybe Arthur and Dave from the Liquid Antiquarian channel, they're having a wee look at their schedule. They're interested in taking a slot or two. What I would suggest to you, if that's happening, I'm going to update the pinned comments that's under this video and let everyone know where they can go over the summer. I'll also keep my patrons and everyone up to date as well. Looking forward to a wee break myself, though. I hope you don't mind. Falsgraf is here. Good to see you, buddy. How are you, Klaus? Evening, Roy. Jimmy Legg is not here yet. I guess he didn't want to see the long drinks tonight. Oh, okay. That's okay. Jimmy is hopefully enjoying some summertime weather. Remember that he's a good 5 hours behind us as well. Ginger Genius is here. Good to see you, John. He's saying good evening, Roy, and all the barflies. Always nice to welcome you, buddy. And Michael Wood is saying, Aquavita and everyone, here I am, the whiskey dunce, now seated discreetly in the back row. Michael's usually picking this up on the replay. Famously, Michael likes to play the quiz with a randomly picked ABCs before he starts, and that goes down as his chimpanzee companion score, and he competes against that. I think it's quite a fun concept. Bob Sanders saying good evening and barflies. A great topic as always. I hope you have a good break, Roy. You deserve it. Thank you, buddy. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not feeling burnt out or particularly tired or anything, but I know that it's a good, healthy thing to do just to kind of take a step back from things for a while and keep the energy levels high. Right, Bob? Whiskey Weekend Dram. That's Harrow saying, hi, Aquavita. I have an Enigma 15-year-old in a glass, a blend from Coquerant and Hazelburn. It's doing great with summer. Fantastic, Harrow. Just popped into my head there. Somebody was asking me recently why I spend so long welcoming in people at the beginning, and to which I answered, well, what's the point of having a live stream and going out live if you don't welcome the people that are joining live, right? But more than anything, it's because, people get the notification that we've gone live and things like that. It takes a good 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes for everybody to come in and get settled and things like that. So it's nice just for me to welcome the folk that have been here early, like Jeff, Sugar Kitty, Helen Widdowson, Frank, Pete Head, Max Kreitner, all of those regulars that have been in for a good half hour before we've gone live tonight. So it's nice for me to welcome the people like you that join live, and also to apologise when I'm a couple of minutes late to you as well. Sugar Kitty is here saying different types of characters of whiskey accurately describes the list of your guests tonight. I've gone for... You can see why I've reached out to them, right? Okay, they're good guys and they're pals and things like that as well. But I think they're a perfect fit for the topic tonight. Julian Rickman is saying, evening, Roy, Aquavita, evening, barflies. Great to be in for the end-of-term party. And Jimmy Legg is saying, Aquavita, I will criticise any long drink you pour. I don't discriminate. Quite happy enjoying a little pint of Guinness with me, though, aren't you, Jimmy? Now and again. You have to have your arm twisted, but you seem to enjoy it in the end. Sorry, the chat jumped there. I'll try and scroll back up a wee bit. Apologies if I'm missing some of you. Gerben is saying, I'm not quite sure what. And then it stops, Gerben. Nice to have you in, buddy. I'll pick up the rest of your statement a wee bit later, hopefully. Ebhead Rolfie in Norway's here. Good to see you, buddy. Good evening, Roy, from a nice summer night in Oslo. I'm glad you're enjoying the weather too. Road to Dram, Alberto is saying, good evening. Looking forward to tonight and enjoy the break. Good to have you in, Alberto, from Italy. I've heard that the heat down there is excruciating, buddy. Hope you're getting some respite from it, and I hope the weather is treating you well. Gary Field is saying, hey, Roy, almost bought a Thompson Brothers Mystery Malt in a Whiskey Exchange in London yesterday, but I resisted. Oh, okay, what put you off? I think it's pretty much sold out now, buddy. I think you would be hard pushed to find anything that's not worth the 65 quid asking price, honestly, Gary. But good for you if you're if that's what you're seeking, some discipline in your whiskey spending, like so many of us are. Ian Williamson is saying, evening, Roy, and all the lovely barflies. Hope you enjoy your well-earned break. I'm looking forward to Ian. I hope you get something of a break as well over the summer. And Billy Bennett's in. Good to see you, Billy. He's saying, on a hot summer day, I can really enjoy a good blend with some ice cubes or some cold water. Tonight, I'm having one of my favourite summer whiskies, Hazelburn 10. What a cracking pick as well, Billy. Nice to have you in. Peter Lee saying, thanks, Hellswood and Denise, for staying over at the new house. I hear there was a wee bit of a mini gathering down in Campbelltown this weekend. I hope you all had a fantastic time, guys. Sandro Fazzolari is here. Good to see you. Another Italian in. Fantastic, Sandro. He's saying, ciao a tutti, slancia. Good to have you in, buddy. It's always nice to welcome you, Sandro. I know Road to Dram is up in Turin. Sandro, I'm not sure I remember where you are. Are you in the Milan area, I think? Sauli JP is saying, hello, Roy and all. Glad to join in live for a long, long, long time. Enjoying a holiday on a summer cottage here in Finland. Wonderful to have you, Sauli. You're not probably going to get much darkness falling on you away up there in Finland tonight. Sally, it's always wonderful to welcome you in, buddy. And Scott Allen is here. Definitely summer here. Record temperatures here in Arizona. Yeah, I've heard that there's records getting broken all over the place, especially in Central Europe as well. Not just for highest temperature, but consecutive days and nonsense like this. It's crazy. Mike Molasses saying, good evening, Roy. Sipping an old-fashioned made with Isle of Harris whiskey versus bourbon or rye. It works wonderfully. Mike, you will be interested in tomorrow's Dramface article. We've tried to encourage the writers to review a whiskey that they enjoy using as a base, a main ingredient in a cocktail. And a few of the guys have thrown their hats into the ring. And the first one goes out. So this will be kind of a dotted series throughout summer. And the first one goes out tomorrow. It's a good wee read. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed it so much that I went off and made the cocktail as I was building the article. Hope you all enjoy it. Gene Kelly saying, great topic. My tops is a Compass Box Orchard House. I have to say that was one of the most popular ones by the community, Gene. Also, Altmore 12, Glenmorangie 10 or 12, Loch Lomond 18 to name, but a few excellent picks there. Altmore 12 was in my lineup, but I've spoken about it quite a bit recently, and it ended up getting nudged out in favour of other things. Let's see what I bring up tonight, Gene. Dan is in saying, good to see DVDW, saying Agaviti got some great summer drams ready to go tonight. A wee old Scapa 12, followed by the 2018 Carnmore Dalmunic. We'll get some peat out later. Sounds like you've got a perfect night set up. Mel is here. Mel, is that the first time I've welcomed you? Saying Aquavita, good evening. Glenn Burgie from Gordon McPhail in the glass, Slantia. Roddy and I's, one of Roddy and I's wee kind of personal pet favourites was a 40% Glenn Burgie, Gordon McPhail from back in the day. I think it was discontinued about a decade ago now. It was a cracking wee dram. I wonder if that's the one that you've got, one of those kind of semi-antique type bottles, Mel. But it's nice to welcome you in, regardless of what you're drinking, my friend. Good to have you. And Arnie Doodle Dramas here saying, summer breakup feels like a whiskey heartbreak, but I wish you all the barflies a wonderful summer, and to you especially some sunnier fishing days. I have to tell you, Arnie, that I'm hoping to piece together at least every other couple of weeks or so, and I'll fill everyone in through the comments below, the pinned comments, that we might manage to get some pop-up vPubs happening over the summer. So there's a place for you to have some safe, welcoming harbour. Just jumped again. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Major Nut has bought me a dram. Thank you so much, Major Nut. It's very, very very generous of you. He's saying, happy summer, Roy, and everyone else. I recently discovered Glen Scotia double cask, so be a wee nice summer whiskey. Especially that rum cask one actually would be hitting the spot fantastically well right now, fully natural as well. Natural colour, non-chill filtered, Major Nut. Thank you very much for your generous dram, my friend. Cheers to you. And Stephen Toth is celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 50 months. Have a great break, Roy. Thank you for all you do. Warren, is celebrating being a member of the Barfly for 12 months. My first official year as a Barfly in the books. Fantastic, buddy. The Barflies like Stevie O, who's just sent out 20 Aquavitae gift memberships. Warren Tanner, Stephen Toth, and Major Nut. Just part of the team of barflies that keep the vPub absolutely ad-free. I don't need to share any revenue with Google. I switch off all the ads. I just don't like ads at all. In return for that, for your $1.99 a month or whatever, you get hold of your loyalty badges, your barfly badges, plus lots of channel-themed emoji. And the sharp-eyed among you will notice one or two extra emoji in the lineup tonight. YouTube is telling me if I want to add any more custom emoji to the channel, I need to find another 69 members. Stevie O has just taken care of 20 of that chunk tonight. So we're in good shape for the summer. I hope you all stay till the over the course of summer, and we can welcome you back and maybe get some more emoji for you to play with as well. Great stuff. Okay, good to have you all in, and I'm sorry that so many of you are commenting and trying to get my attention. I'll try and do my very, very best to keep up. Martin Logan is here saying you only need 3 summer whiskies, but how many do you own? Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that, Martin. Okay, let's get this thing on the road. The first thing we're going to do is we'll start off welcoming, and well, I don't know, how would we welcome in people? We'll prioritize it tonight based on experience, the number of years they've been into whiskey. Let's do it that way, shall we? Alan Smith spot maybe dram as well. Alan, I don't want to miss that, buddy. He's saying a holiday dram, Roy. Thank you very much, Alan. I'm looking forward to meeting you over the course, maybe not summer, but maybe a bit later in the year, Alan. I hope that can happen. Cheers, fella. Thank you very much for your generosity. And Nick Keane in New Zealand, and the Upside Down. Wonderful to see you, Nick. I hope Penny's doing very well. Celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 54 months. It's amazing I've had it going that long, Nick. Thank you so much for being here, for your support for over all the years. Feels like you've been here from the beginning, you and Penny. Yeah, let's welcome everybody in based on how long they've been into whiskey. Does that make sense to anyone? That means I'm going to reach out to Roddy. We've had a bit of technical issues with Roddy, having some sound issues, namely that we can't hear him, which is a problem. So there's a bit of a panic, but we'll see how he's doing. If you're good to come in, Roddy, I'll welcome in my pal from across the road in Glasgow. How are you doing? Good to welcome you.
I'm very well, Roy. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to hear you. Please let me be able to hear him. So you've got earbuds in now, right? And that seems to be working.
Yeah. They're meant to be good for 6 hours, but we'll see.
Okay, the battery life. Well, we'll just have to do the best we can. You know, I usually get through a vPub in about 90 minutes, right? Never happened. For years and years and years, it's never happened. We'll do our best, Roddy. Sometimes that happens and it just, a refresh, a reboot coming back in again. Listen, we'll just keep our fingers crossed. You're in retail, my friend. You're welcome on the vPub for any reason, all the time. We love having you here. You look at the way the channel's lighting up with the Roddy emoji right now, right? It's brilliant. If it's a long time, if too many months go by without Roddy appearing on the vPub, I start to get a nudge from the community, shall we say. But the reason I know is because we're both very passionate. We both love whiskey. We're just desperate whiskey fans, right? But it's also your job. Your daily grind is involved in selling booze and specifically selling a lot of whiskies and things like that. Let me ask you something before I get other guys in. Do you find yourself, honestly speaking, do you find yourself recommending different whiskies in summer than you might in winter?
No is the short answer. Because the long-winded answer is that my way of selling stuff is to talk to somebody for a brief moment or for a while to find out what they like, and then look at what's on the shelf. Look at what's on the shelf and try and match that.
That makes perfect sense. Let me ask you this then: do you find yourself, as Roddy, drinking slightly different whiskies in the summer?
I have more highballs in the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
When I saw, Roy, that you were making a highball, I ran off to make one myself. There's no soda in the house, so just for Jimmy Legg, this is this is whiskey and Aperol.
So it's some way towards what could you make with Aperol? A paper plane cocktail?
Yeah. Or it's 2/3 of a lightweight Negroni or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the paper plane was a recommendation from Matthew and Sarah in the shop actually.
Right.
So yes, we shouldn't spend too much time speaking about cocktails because Jimmy will wig out. He will throw his toys out. He will.
That's why I did it.
I have to be honest. I know that Jimmy Legg is partial to drinks other than a neat whiskey, right? And even when he's got a neat whiskey, he tends to spend most of the night nosing it rather than drinking it, which I think is a good way to be. However, we're all partial to occasionally different drinks. And why shouldn't that be a long drink made with our favorite drink? The hate for a cocktail or a mixed drink doesn't make sense to me. I think the problem comes, Roddy, when we put more expensive whiskies in there, which you and I have been happy to do in the vPub in the past. Really, really, really quite nice things in a drink, but it does make a difference to the finished drink. And we've got, goodness knows, we tend to have enough whiskey to be able to do it from time to time. Anyway, buddy, it's good to welcome you. You've got your recommendations for tonight for our 3 categories locked in. And I'm going to reach out to somebody who's kind of almost like a bridge between Roddy and the final guest tonight. And that is Mr. Whiskey Novice himself, Jim Ingram, who's another passionate whiskey geek. He's also on YouTube, but he's also now, a bit like Roddy, in whiskey retail as well. Let's reach out to Mr. Jim Ingram. For the sharp-eyed amongst you, you'll notice a whiskey novice emoji. Please fill the chat like you did with Roddy and welcome in Jim, whiskey novice. How you doing, fella? Good to have you, buddy.
Very well. Thank you for the... I never noticed that until somebody else posted it up. And I was like, where the hell did that? It was Sugar Kitty. Where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, so we've got, it's brilliant as well. Look at that. The chat is absolutely littered with your coupon, with your face, and it's all the more, it's all the better for it, Jim. Good to see you. So I don't know if Roddy knew. Roddy's sitting down. He looks like he's sitting. We need to get down low here, Jim. Let's go down. Oh, he's back up again. I don't know if Roddy knew that you were in retail now. Maybe you did know, Roddy. I don't know, but Jim's now working in. What's the name of the shop, Jim? Go ahead. The
friend at hand. 3 years this month.
And where are you? Tell us a wee bit about the shop.
Belfast. Right in the heart. Well, say right in the heart of Belfast, Cathedral Quarter in Belfast. But the difference being that we focus on one product, and that's Irish whiskey, which it was quite funny because I was listening to Roddy there, and when you asked him the question about, do you change per season, and I was just sitting screaming inside my head, no. And then Roddy said no, and it makes perfect sense because I do exactly the same as Roddy. You speak to the customer, you find out what they like. Generally, you find out how much they want to spend. That can narrow it down an awful lot because when you're going from £20 to £5,000, there's always somewhere that they don't want to be, obviously. But no, it's difficult for me being very passionate about Scotch whiskey, trying to sell Irish whiskey, but I'm learning.
Well, I think it's also nice for you to still have your passion and your knowledge in Scotch whiskey in the YouTube space, and then in the retail space, learning a hell of a lot about the Irish side of things, because that gives you much more context, credibility, everything when you're talking about Scotch, but it also brings a lot of Irish whiskey knowledge into things as well. I know I've tapped you up in the past when I'm lost about Irish whiskey and things like that, and it's good to have that in our armory, whether it's in retail or in YouTube, buddy. It's nice to have you here tonight. Hopefully, you've seen the basic theme of things, but I'll explain it to everybody before we go on. Well, welcome in our final guest tonight, who has been on... Well, why is he final tonight? Because I feel sometimes you think he's the newest into whiskey, but actually when you look at the amount of content he's got on the channel, he's been in doing it for a bloody long time now. And I think the place is much more colourful for having this guy around. Of course, I'm talking about our pal, Jeff from Jeff Whiskey. And he also has a brand new emoji, and I hope that everyone can find the Jeff emoji to light up the chat to welcome in our man from down south. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah, all good. Glad to be here, joining with the whiskey cocktails.
It's just too hot and sticky to do anything else right away, right? What's in the glass, Jeff?
I did debate making a Springbank old-fashioned, but I feel like I've caused enough ruckus there, so I've gone for a Torabeig old-fashioned.
It's your whiskey, do as you like with it. Do you see the chat here, Jeff? Are you seeing this thing?
There's a lot of very good-looking emojis.
Yeah.
It looks like other people also shop in charity shops.
Yes, that's right. I think it's probably anybody that's in Whiskey Tube would look at that little shirt and know exactly what channel we're talking about, Jeff. Okay, buddy. I think that you are probably the most in tune with the topics and the quiz and what we're going to lay out tonight, right? And the way we're going to play this. And apologies if it feels like I'm trying to speed things up tonight, But in order to do this, I went back to watch the Christmas session that we did, and I was very. It's really hard to watch and listen to yourself, isn't it? It always is. Jim, Pete, you know, you guys know, Roddy, you've been on enough times. It's still, you never get used to hearing your own voice or whatever. But it's worse when your cadence is just painfully slow. I don't know. I always tell people that the vPub is about relaxed and slowing down and things like that. But I realise that when you're gamifying things, speeding it up a bit would maybe give you a chance to hang out with the folk that are live a wee bit more. Watch me fail at that again tonight. But here's what we're going to do. I'll lay it out for everyone, okay? What we're trying to do is have games, but bring a bit of value to the people watching. Bring a bit of value to the people who are watching on replay. And that is have some practical recommendations that go through. We have to bring, you only need 3 whiskies, that topic. We have to bring our passion into that. We need to talk about whiskies straight to camera and recommend exactly why we think it's safe to enjoy this style of whiskey. What we'll do throughout tonight is that I will be making polls. It's going to be really hard because I'm going to have a lot of spinning plates. I'll be making a poll for each of the whiskies that's been recommended. That poll will go live before anyone's heard from anyone on the individual whiskies. So immediately, anyone that's watching or playing live will be able to vote on their favourite whiskey. But I implore all of you that are in live tonight to hold your water. Wait. And wait until you've heard the campaign speech from each individual on why they're recommending that whiskey. You only get the ability to vote once on YouTube. So once your vote is cast, that's it. That way, if you choose to vote in advance, you're voting for your whiskey favourite. If you vote after you've heard the speeches, not only will you know who's talking about each whiskey, but you'll have heard the heartfelt reasons why we're going for each individual whiskey. Does that make sense? For each of you, there are points. Whoever gets the most points from the community, you'll take away 12 points into the next round. For whoever comes second, you'll get 8 points, then 4 points and 2 points. So even if you come last, you've put effort in, so you get a token 2 points, okay? Then what we'll do for each round is we'll break the flow up a little bit by playing a little round of Bottleships. Jeff, I think you're the only one that knows what Bottleships is, right?
I'll nod my head.
Right. Don't worry not. I'll tell you exactly what that is. Hopefully, it's self-explanatory enough. All right. I'm going to ask a question so that one of you can chat while I make up the poll here so that we can start to get voting on our first category. The first category is the holiday sipper. By holiday sipper, what I mean by that is it doesn't matter whether you're home or whether you're abroad or anywhere in between. What's anywhere in between? Well, I suppose you can be on holiday and not be abroad, right? So it doesn't matter where you are over the summer. You're going to be reaching for a whiskey that there's no anxiety. You know, you can replace it. It's not going to cost you too much. It's utterly reliable, and it's something with all of those qualifications that you can recommend to someone. I suppose the quickest one-word summary of this would be value. That's our holiday sipper, zero anxiety drinker. Now, I've already got your commitments in. You sent this in advance. And the way that worked is that if anybody, whoever came with a recommendation first, it was first come, first served. There were no duplicates this time. But what it meant for me, my slight disadvantage is that I had to pick only after you guys had put yours in first. So if you picked anything that I wanted, I would have to find something else. Hope that makes sense. Jim, will there ever be an expansion to the friend at hand? Is it only ever going to be Irish whiskies?
Yeah, only ever. They never. I would love nothing more than to do whiskies from around the world, and even my tastings are focused on Irish whiskey. But the thing about it is that people are now approaching me personally as the whiskey novice to ask me to come and do tastings for them in Scotch whiskey, because nobody in Ireland knows anything about Scotch whiskey, so it's great for me. That would appear to be the way anyway. That's the feel I'm getting for it.
You must have a lot of customers coming in,
yeah,
and asking for Scotch.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you get well, you get customers coming in and asking for gin and beer and wine and everything, because Google thinks that we're an off license, and we have a student campus right beside us as well. So all the students land in looking for beer and everything else. And it doesn't matter how many times we tell Google that we're a specialist Irish whiskey shop. It just seems to want to pick this up. But we're doing all right. There's an awful lot of tourism business. There's still an awful lot of collectors out there. There's an awful lot of people always want whiskey. This weather doesn't necessarily help, I find. People don't seem to want to drink whiskey in hot weather. So you can't really win. When it's too hot, they don't want. If it's raining heavily, their hoods are up, the umbrellas are up. They don't even see the shop on the way past. It can be difficult, but we're surviving. So that's obviously we're doing something right.
I think it's tough for whiskey everywhere right now. Absolutely. The more we can do to kind of support and help that, especially the local specialist retailers like yourself, Jim, and obviously Roddy as well, then the better. Can I ask you quickly, does anyone know Elijah Craig Small Batch? What ABV is that? 45? Silence. I think it's 45. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to start this poll now. Please hold off if you can. If you see these options and immediately you have something and there's nothing that's going to change your mind, then you can vote now because you don't know which one of us is going to put it forward, okay? But I guarantee I'm asking you to hold off and wait until we've all spoken about our individual bottles. Shall I take the floor first, gentlemen? Is that only fair?
Yes, sounds
okay.
good.
That means that one of you will get away with not going first. All right, I'll take the floor first. Everyone else can still hear you, so you can heckle and things, but just remember what you give, you have to take, okay? I'll go first with my recommendation. All right, this cannot be a surprise to anyone. I know this to be true because I thought I was sure that one of my peers tonight, we've only got 60 seconds here, Roy, listen. I thought that one of my peers would pick this, but they didn't. And I was like, yes. It's one of the most repeated by the community, maybe with the exception of Compass Box's Orchard House. But obviously my summer sipper has to be the wonderful Charmer, the little delicious, summery, fruity, floral, malty delight that is Glencadam 10. Look at the specs on this bottle. Non-chill filtered, no added colour, 46% ABV, 10-year age statement, everything, and still in the order of the mid-40s, sometimes less. Sometimes you can pick it up for 40 quid and less. Glencadam 10-year-old, for me, is just such an easy pick year after year after year as a perma-shelf bottle, any time of the year. But for me, it comes into its own in summertime. That blast of fruit and the wonderful detail and top notes that it delivers charms you every time. And if you doubt it, I thoroughly recommend that you put this in a lineup against what you think is nice equivalent things to sip it against and have them blind. Glencadam 10 is likely to surprise you every time. That's my case for the Charmer that is Glencadam 10. Cheers. I don't know how long that 60 seconds was, but there we go. I've put forward my case for Glencadam 10. Do we get a thumbs up for that? It's a good dram, surely.
2 thumbs.
2 thumbs. So Roddy likes it as well. I'm surprised, gents. Each and every one, all 3 of you, I expected one of these guys is going to pick Glencadam 10 when you put through your choices tonight and didn't pick it. I thought, yes, you beauty. That is the case for Glencadam 10. I'm now going to head over to Roddy. We'll go in this order for tonight, fella, and ask you to put forward your case for your pick out of the 4 that's currently live on the poll now. Big guy, take it away.
So, thank you. Willie Grant's Triplewood. $19. Widely available worldwide, so you don't need to think about where you're going to get it.
I'm just going to say it again. William Grant's Triplewood. Just your sound dropped out a wee bit there. So this is a blended Scotch whiskey. William Grant's Triplewood. Sorry, Roddy. Sorry to interrupt. Your time starts again now.
He says my sound dropped out, but that's just so he can heckle me.
No,
I
no,
know
no,
what's,
no, no.
I know what's happening here. I know what's happening. So, William Grant's Triplewood, blended Scotch. On their website it says in the UK it's £19. It'll be cheaper in other parts of the world, and it's widely available. If you do buy the bottle before you travel, and your luggage gets lost, or you drop it and it gets broken, it doesn't matter because it's a blended whiskey. You can get another bottle where you're going. It's fruity, it's light, it's 40%, it's perfect for a highball. And the thing is that you get where you're going in summer, you switch off. You don't want to analyse your whiskey. You just want something that says, yes, I'm a whiskey, gives you a wee pat on the back and sends you on your way to stare vacantly at your airport bubble or whatever you're doing. You save the thinking for the second thing that we're going to be talking about later without giving anything away. This is the whiskey when you just want a drink at 1 p.m. because you're on holiday and you're allowed to do that, and it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be friendly. I could have suggested other blended whiskies, but you know, White Mackay's 13-year-old, for example. But William Grant's Triplewood is a personal favourite of mine in terms of blended whiskies. Speaking as somebody who mainly drinks malt, like everybody here.
Here,
There we
here.
go.
Here. I'll back that up a wee bit with you, Roddy, as well. Sometimes you end up in environments where you have to be reminded how far you've gone in your, not snobbishness, but let's say selectiveness or whatever it is that you're drinking a whiskey, and you find yourself in an environment where you don't have the choice that you've got at home. And somebody says, oh, you like a whiskey, and they just pour you a whiskey and you're sitting there and they ask you if you like it. And I say, yeah, I like it very much. What is this? And I'll tell you, it was a couple of years ago now, but I'll tell you it was a William Grant's blended 12-year-old, 40% ABV blend. It came in a tumbler on a chunk of ice. I don't mind that at all. And I loved that whiskey to the point I had 2 or 3 more. Now, Roddy didn't have the bottle on site, and I don't have one here either. But this is an antique version of it, right? It's the Triplewood you mentioned. This is the 12-year-old. This is kind of Grant's Royal or whatever, an old antique blend. But the Triplewood still has this triangular shape, right? So it's still got that kind of William Grant's trademark triangular bottle. And I looked up the price on this, Roddy, and I think you've put forward maybe the budget pick of the session tonight. So there we've had the case for Willie Grant's Triplewood. Up next, our man from Northern Ireland. I wonder how many Irish whiskies he's going to bring tonight. Let's see. Jim Ingram, take it away, my friend.
Well, I'm not going to start with an Irish whiskey because when I think summer, when we're talking summer here, when we're talking maybe perhaps being off work or even just coming home from work, on given what the weather's like at the moment, I think bourbon every time. Now, this isn't technically the bottle that I was offering up. This is actually a barrel pick Elijah Craig, but the Elijah Craig small batch would usually be the one that I'll be talking about. Yep. Summer just screams bourbon to me. I want something sweet. I want something that's generally not, and I mean, this is over here now, certainly in the UK, I would suggest this is a supermarket bottle, usually no more than £30 a bottle. That's the small batch version of this. And I think they said in the chat it's actually 47% the small batch version of it. And it's, it's just a good bourbon. Sweet. I want sweet in the summer. I know you guys already said it. Glencairn 10, sweet. Yes, Grant's, Pesh, Roddy, I don't care what you think. But it's just, I want something that's going to be really, really sweet. And if you decide to fire ice and Coke in there, think yourselves lucky, people. Think yourselves lucky that I'm not wasting good scotch. So that's my
I like the psychology coming into it there. Okay, apologies. I just guessed that it was 45% ABV, a typical strength for bourbon. Elijah Craig small batch, 47%. Fantastic. I'd also say if you're able to pick that up for 30 quid, Jim, I believe that you absolutely are. I had a quick scoot about for the price. That's a good deal if you can pick it up for 30. But I agree with you, especially when you pour that thing or even things like it over ice. And I'll also suggest that bourbons are very, very good at holding their character and flavour in a longer mixed drink that we might enjoy in summer as well. It seems to do very well. That said, I'd still pick mine over yours, but we continue. Finally, 60. I think we're doing quite well at keeping it tight so far. 60 seconds from my man from the Southwest to put the argument forward by process elimination. Jeff, everyone knows what your pick is from the poll now. I'll ask you. Oh, I missed that. I won't ask you to do it again just in case it goes on the floor.
Yeah, it's sweaty hands down here, but you all know what I've gone for. Ardbeg 10. When you go on holiday, you don't get to relax till everyone's crashed out in bed. The car's full of sand, clothes are hanging up outside. You step out of a caravan, stifling air to the fresh evening breath, and you kind of want to melt away with something. You could go something sweet. You could, everyone's got a great choice, but you want something that's going to warm your heart, warm your soul, warm your glass, warm your mouth, just sip and contemplate life into the early hours, and then you regret it in the morning when everyone wakes up at 6. Ardbeg 10. It's not what people think for a summer whiskey. Peat is often seen as the enemy of the summer, but you got to embrace the peat life. It is campfires, it is friendship in a bottle, and it's just smoky delight in the summer.
Fantastic. Fantastic. A smoky delight in the summer. It's funny, and I see exactly where you're going. If we're going to talk about and see flavour maps a wee bit later on when we talk about smoky versus delicate or kind of light versus rich. And if you were to place Ardbeg in that flavour map, it kind of goes towards the smoky and light end of the spectrum. And you realise that's the least populated area. There's not many smoky and light whiskies out there. I don't know if I would get a lot of, Kalila, 12-year-old is maybe one. Lagavulin 8 is maybe one as well. But, that end of the spectrum, it's interesting how you've got something that can switch up and be a peaty, smoky winter delight. And as you say, a summer dram as well. Not bad at all. Okay, so now I encourage everyone that's in live to please put in their votes now. I'm going to end the poll imminently, and it will be committed to then. That will be the scores that we take forward into round 1. So we've got the format down. This is our holiday sipper being done. This is our value pick. I can tell you that the value is, clearly, if you measure value by, it can't be the cheapest. Value has to be how much you get for that price. But in terms of the cheapest, the least amount of money spent is definitely Roddy right now on £19 thereabouts. Would you agree, Roddy? It's often that order, 19 quid.
That's what their website says.
Ardbeg 10, sub £50 typically. Jeff, would you say?
Yeah, currently 32 quid you can grab it for.
In a supermarket, no doubt.
Supermarkets, 38 club card prices.
This is why I love having Jeff on, because he is if there's a deal to be had, the only person that can beat you is Rob Halford. Am I right, Jeff?
Yeah, he's got that northern blood. He's built for it. I've had to learn these skills. He
knows where the deals are, what's good price, what brings the value. Fantastic. But sub 50 quid. Elijah Craig, I had 45 down as the retail generally here. Jim, if you're picking it up for 30 and less, I've changed that price down to 30 for you, bud. And
Club card or Pete's credit card, it's even cheaper.
Superb. And I've suggested for the Glencadam somewhere in the order of 40 to 45 quid. Something like that, 42 average, let's say, for the Glencadam 10. Okay, with all that chitty chat out of the way, let's close this poll. Is everyone happy when we're closing the poll now? Do you want it to last a wee bit longer? I think there's a clear winner here, gents. Can you see this poll? No? Okay. 7% of tonight's poll. I'll end it now. 7% of tonight's poll. It should pop up in the chat. You can see it now. Grant's Triplewood blend. A lot. You've got some evangelism work to do there, Roddy. Yeah. Yep, they're all wrong. A 19 quid bottle, 40% ABV, 7% of the people did decide to support Roddy and thinks that he's put a case forward for a good whiskey. Coming up in third place, no surprises here, Jim. You went off-piste. It's the vPub. We are happy to drink non-Scotch whiskies, but I think if you're playing a strategy game tonight, to keep it Scotch would be the safe way to go. 14%, though, decided that you were right and agreed with you on your Elijah Craig barrel. Sorry, it's not barrel proof. It's this small batch, isn't it? So it's between you and me, Jeff. Ardbeg and Glencadam 10. That would be a hard one for me to predict and call. But 26% of the vote goes to Ardbeg 10, leaving 52% of the vote. So that's a clean majority there for the Summer Charmer, as I've called it, of Glencadam 10. Famously, it was an obvious pick for me because it was that hero whiskey that I did that video for all those years ago. As I've said many times, Jimmy Legg, it's the same. Roddy has no clue what he's doing. I tell you what, it's easy to judge based on somebody's being forced to pick only 3 whiskies. I've spent about 9 years hanging out with Roddy, and I can tell you I've learned more from that man than I care to even admit at times. Whiskey and Wine Trails Tom is saying Roddy should have gone with a Royal Brackla. Well, Royal Brackla fan club that Roddy heads up, it would have made sense, Tom. Stay tuned, big guy. Nice to have you in, Tom. It's good to have you. What if you lost your bottle, Rod Graham is saying? Well, on that point, we're going to move on to something that you would indeed pack in a suitcase. The next category that we're going to pick tonight will be the holiday sipper. However, in between times, if you're enjoying the gamification, I'm going to try this crazy kind of plate spinning mess that's going to end up being Bottleships. You're all familiar with Battleships, right? Okay. This is my take on Battleships. Lots of the people that are in live tonight have seen this in the past. They know exactly what the general theory of this thing is, but we take a grid. Looks a wee bit like a Battleships grid, but it's not the ocean. This is the whiskey loch that sits behind these 100 tiles, okay? Through this process, we're not looking for ships. We're looking for bottles. And how are we going to find those bottles? It's not hitting blind like Battleships. No, we're going to use our whiskey knowledge, and we're going to use a very, very rough flavour map. Smoky up top, delicate down bottom. The least amount of smoke down bottom. Very lightly flavoured, very light in character off to the left or the west. And rich, the richer, the more it moves to the right. That makes sense in terms of a very simple flavour map, a la Charlie McLean, a la Diageo back in the day, 20 years ago, something like that, right? We know the concept. So you can use these compass positions in order for you to help select or deduce where the bottles might be hiding. The bottles are not related necessarily to summer whiskies, and they are not related necessarily to the whiskies that we're picking tonight. The bottles are split into 3 ship sizes. The biggest ship is the tall round on the right-hand side here. For each hit, you get a point. The dumpy is the middle-sized one. It takes up 2 squares on the grid, as opposed to the tall round's 3. For each hit, you get 2 points. And then the mini, the tiniest one, the hardest one, theoretically, to find on the grid, is going to be the mini, which is only a single square. So you get 5 points for hitting that. And if you sink any of these bottles into the whiskey loch, you take away a bonus 5 points. So the mini is worth 10, the dumpy is worth 9, and the tall round is worth 8. Does that make sense so far? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our points after round 1. After what we've just played here, Roddy is in last place with 2 points. Then it's Jim. Then it's Jeff. Then it's myself leading. It's not going to stay like that. Guess what? I cannot win any points from Bottleships. I know where the bottles are. I know where the ships are hiding, right? So it's down to you guys. We're going to do it differently this time. All three of you are going to be playing at the same time. We'll stay in the order that we picked the bottles in tonight, or that I asked you to step forward. So the advantage is with Roddy, he gets the first pick. Okay? So, round one. Any questions on that before I move in? No? You all know? Okay. Here we have a grid. 100 tiles, and under this grid hides 3 ships, 3 bottles. We've got a tall round that is Glencadam's 15-year-old. Then we've got a dumpy, which takes up 2 grid spaces, which is Kilchoman's 100% Isla. Then we're going to have a mini, which is Glasgow's peated, famously heavily peated Glasgow Spirit, matured or finished in Pedro Jimenez casks, PX casks. So they are all hiding on this grid somewhere. This is going to be a mess of me spinning plates, but I'm going to do the very best I can to make this work. Roddy, you can continue to play for as long as you get a hit. However, if you get a miss, it passes down to Jim. Thereafter, it passes to Jeff. Does that make sense? And then back to Roddy again until all the bottles have been sunk into the whiskey loch. Are we clear?
No.
Let's play, Roddy. You can choose whether you think, I think that Glasgow peated is going to be easiest to place on that grid. I think the Kilchoman or the Glencadam, it's up to you. And you just tell me a grid reference and I'll highlight it. And when you're absolutely convinced, just say fire and I will remove it. Okay? And reveal whether you've hit open water or whether you have hit.
So we're going for the Glasgow first, aye?
It's up to you. You can choose any grid square you want and therefore any bottle that you would like.
All right, so the Kilchoman.
Okay.
That is A1.
Sorry?
A1.
Now, you do understand, Roddy, and I've no doubt that you have already worked out that the weak link in this whole process is me. Because, of course, the positioning on this map is based on where I think it goes. So you can curse and swear, but all the while you take solace in the fact that I cannot score any points here. You've picked A1, Roddy, for you, and you're going for Kilchoman's 100% Island.
Well, hang on, so that Roy, you're famously Pete Blinds, so can I change that to B1?
I like it. It's absolutely true. You sure you don't want J1 if it's me you're talking about, right?
No, let's try B1.
Okay, B1. Just say fire when you're ready, buddy.
Fire.
Open water. Open water. Okay, Jim. Now we've got a game on the go. Let's go.
So I don't actually have to select the bottle, just a grid position.
That's right. Any grid position.
E for Echo 6.
You're going for E6.
Correct. Fire.
Oh, I want to see a cheer go up when we get a hit, I'll tell you. Okay, Jeff, take it away.
I'm going to go with... I've only had the Glasgow peated, so that's all I'm aiming for. I'm going to go with C7.
C7. And what are you aiming for there?
The Glasgow peated.
Glasgow peated. Okay, when you're ready.
Fire. Back of the net.
Wow.
You nailed it. That's 5 points for finding the mini. And also for sinking it, that's 10 points straight away.
Shall I go now?
That's amazing. That's
Wow.
amazing. So I'm going to have to keep up with these points. It's amazing. So, okay.
It's these X-ray specs.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, that's 10 points straight away. Okay, fella. Give us your next one. Well done. That was thrilling.
We'll go Kilhoman. And
Yes.
I'm going to go for D3.
D3 for Kilhoman. Okay, when you're ready.
Fire.
Okay, over to Roddy now. Now that you've got the vibe of it, big guy.
A1, please.
A1.
Yeah. Fire.
I suspect Roddy will be raging with me. Jim, take it away, fella.
I think that Kilhoman, well, I have to be trying to hit the Kilhoman now. I think the Kilhoman's going to aiming more for slightly richer, not just as light as that. So I'm going to go C for Charlie 4. Fire.
C4 for Kilhoman. Did you say fire? Did you?
Fire away.
You need to pause and give me some time. Oh!
No!
Oh! So that gives you a quandary now, Jim, because at this point I tell you that the bottles can be orientated vertically or horizontally. So it's not straightforward. You've just scored yourself 2 points so far for that one.
I'm going to go C5. I think it is that away. Far away.
But it's not what you think, it's what I would think.
Well, you know, sometimes we think alike.
Sometimes we do, fella. Let's see. Oh, yeah, beauty.
Good.
So you've still got a quandary, though. In order to sink this Kilhoman, you need to decide between C3. Oh, no, that's you sunk it.
Only 2 grids, yeah.
It's only 2. I don't know the rules to my own game. Jim, you've picked up 9 points. You've sunk the Kilhoman. So now what's left is for us to search around the grid for the biggest ship, let's say, is that Glencadam 15. Where would I place such a thing? Roddy, the reason I haven't gone full smoky on the Kilhoman, the 100% Isla is their own in-house floor maltings, which famously they can't get the same ppm phenols into that malt. It's supposedly a little bit lighter on smoke. But who would ask Pete Blight me, right? Anyway.
Pete Blind. You're just Pete Blind.
I am Pete Blind. Very occasionally now and again, I do get some people saying, "I know what you mean," and I need to hear that because it's scary when it happens. Right, Jim, you're still in control.
Well, yet again, personally, I just polished off a bottle of the Glencadam 15 recently, actually. So it's, but yet again, this is where you've placed them. But
yeah,
I consider it personally fairly delicate, but fairly rich. So I'm going to go I6.
I6 from Jim. By the way, how loud are these sound effects to people watching and listening? Are they particularly loud or are they okay?
All right.
Unlucky, buddy. Unlucky, my friend. Jeff.
I'm going to have a complete punt and go for H4.
H4 on the Glencadam 15.
Yeah, fire.
Oh, I like the pattern, Roddy.
That's tricksy. Yeah, let's try I2, please.
Say again.
I indigo. 2 for 2.
I2.
Fire.
Okay, as long as I've got the right one. All right, okay. Oh, beauty. He's on the score sheet, but he has a quandary. It can be vertically, horizontally, depending on whenever the randomness of my head has decided to put this thing. Take it away, big guy.
I3, please.
I3. Oh, I3.
Fire.
Oh, feels good. He needs one 50-50 chance to sink this thing.
I4. Thank you very much.
It's confidence ripping out you. Love it.
Fire.
And the job is done.
Well done, Roddy.
Amazing. So, with that, Roddy, you score 8 points for sinking the tall round. Glencairn 15. 9 points for sinking the Kilhoman 100% Isla. The dumpy bottle goes to Jim. And I have to say, hats off to you, Jeff. We are occasionally aligned. That was like just perfect. That was like a snipe. It was amazing. So that does change the points a little bit. My maths need to be. This is when, remember, Menno was doing this last year. I'm having to do it all myself. But I think we had Roddy holding up the rear. Then we had Jim on 13. I don't score anymore. I'm stuck on my score, obviously, that I originally had. And then we had. So I think we've got new scores after round one that closes it out. Changes things a little bit. Much more respectable score, Roddy. You're still holding up the rear, but you're very close now. 3 points behind Jim in third place with 13 points. Jeff Whiskey takes the lead on 18, and I am now, Jim's in second. I'm now in third place on 12 points. Terrific stuff. You're in the lead. That means, Jeff, you're going to be taking the lead on the next round. I'll give you a minute to think while I jump into the chat and see what they think of this nonsense. Jimmy Legg is saying, and you are Pete Blind. He's talking to me, of course. I am. I've proved it in the past. Not always, but very often. Martin M is saying, obscure music reference, but with Aquavita's accent, I can't help but think of a song from Fish where he says, open water, lol. Well, Fish is Glaswegian, is he not? I think he's from Glasgow, right? Obviously, lead singer of Meatloaf. And Martin Logan is saying, loud enough to wake up neighbour's newborn. Sorry, Martin M. I think it might be the first time I've welcomed you. Good to have you in. Loud enough to wake up my neighbour's newborn, Martin is saying. The sound effects are great in the first place. The volume is just right on the upper end. Okay. Just I can crank back the volume and I can increase it a wee bit. Class, if you tell me it's good, then we're good. Red Mordecai is saying the Glencairn 15 has just gone up in price in Israel. £100. It's too much. Oh, that does seem tone deaf, if I'm honest. Tone deaf. Greg's Whiskey Guide is saying they're perfect, Roy, like a lot of swimming to refresh ourselves. Jimmy Like is saying Roy is a maniac. You're only just working it out, buddy. Duder Court, Mike, good to see you. He's saying, I assume you'll be bringing Bottleships to the party this weekend, along with samples, so we can work out the location. I've not worked out how to make this game in the real world. Mike, looking forward to seeing you this weekend, buddy. Michael Wood is saying you're having too much fun, Aquaviti. I need to calm down. The excitement is just too much for me. Alan Smith is saying fish from Dalkeith. Oh, sorry. Apologies. From the good side of the country. Okay, I'll let you have that one, Alan, since I got it wrong. Martin Logan is saying, don't increase it. He went back to sleep. Fish, isn't he from Lothian, a Hibbies fan? My goodness, Hellswood from Milton Keynes. Oh, you're not from Milton Keynes anymore, Ellen. You're from the Argyll Peninsula, of course you are. You should know that then. Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that wee bit of distraction. But did that work out? Is everybody okay with the Bottleships thing now, right?
Brilliant.
The flaw in it, of course, is it's me that's placing them, right? Okay. Now we come on to our next summer whiskey category. And it is, of course, the Suitcase bottle. Let me explain specifically what I mean about this one. We know that as we go through duty-free or our airport lounges, whatever it may be, global travel retail, in 2025, it's not what it used to be. Sometimes, depending on the airport that you're going through, you can find some gems. but sometimes you're struggling a little bit. And it started to teach us that it might be nice to pack a little holiday souvenir in the suitcase. Even if we're staying local and we're not taking a flight or something like that, we might still decide to pack a wee vacation bottle for us. So this is not only something that is for us. This is maybe something that we can share at our destination. So it needs to be something that's got maybe a little bit of it could leave an impression. The single word I would use to summarize this specific category would be permashelf. The type of solid, reliable bottle that you are tempted to replace when you finish it. You've enjoyed it so much that you would take it on holiday with you. Julian Rickman has bought me a very generous dram. Thank you, Julian. You seen, have a great holiday. It was great to finally share a dram with you and Leanne and Leith in March. Have a good break, with the family. Julian, it was a pleasure to meet you too. I'm looking forward to the next time, my friend. It's a very generous dram from you. Thank you so much. George P has bought 10 Aquaviti gift memberships for 10 random barflies out there, who's now got access to all those cool new emojis and the existing ones as well. George, thanks for your generosity. Fort Engine Istari, I think I've pronounced your name well, has just signed up to join the barflies. Thank you all for your support. Thank you. I'm looking forward to my break. Bobby K is saying Aquaviti for the Royal Brackla fans. Oh, interesting. And Klaus is saying, if anyone ever comes through Dublin Airport, I'd love to get some Irish whiskey there. Aquaviti, since I stay in the country, when I'm there, this is a really good last stop before going home. Well, it might be better than Scottish airports. Lowlander is saying Edinburgh Airport now allows you to take 2 litres of liquid through security instead of 100 mils. Oh, that's a good tip. I didn't know that. 2 litres through airport security. That could
2 litres in miniatures.
2 litres in miniatures.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an important clarification, Jim. Thank you. Okay. Well, we get on with our suitcase bottle picks. Jeff, I do believe that you're currently in first place, so that means you are taking the lead with this choice. Take it away, big guy.
So with being in your suitcase, as Roy said, it's going to break. They're going to toss it around. So go for something that's all about value and at the cheaper price point. So I am picking, my hands are getting sweaty. This is dangerous. Lecheg Sinclair series, which you can pick up 33 quid, 35 quid or 37 quid online at the moment. And it is just a banger. I know what you're thinking. Again, smoke. Do you want that? But imagine this in the evening on a balcony. You've got Fanta lemon, you've got crisps, and then you move on to this. That's your day sorted. It's still got plenty of fruit and juice and just delightness just to keep you going in the day. If you need a little pick-me-up, going to swimming parks, that takes its toll on you. Put a bit of this in your pocket, you'll be well away. So yeah, Lecheg, Sinclair series, the only one, Rioja cask.
It's been a bit of a bargain find and a favourite for a lot of people. Do you ever find it divisive with the Rioja? I know that that's not your first bottle, right, Jeff?
No, it's my third, and that's a rarity for someone as tight as I am.
And how much are you paying for it?
This last one, I think, was 33. But it's worth way more than that.
This is for a single malt Tobermory distillate, heavily peated. I'm just finishing off the poll for those of you that was wondering what's happened to the poll. I just need to. What is my pick? Oh, of course.
And the best thing about this is the color. It's the color you leave the airport on the way home.
It matches our tan. And the further north we are, the pinker we become. Okay, I've started the poll. Sorry to be a wee bit late there, but I'm spinning out all the plates on my own here so you can see what the rest of the picks are. You'll be able to marry them up potentially from here on in quite easily. That's a good pick, an interesting one. 33 quid is a bargain. Jeff, our second place guy is Jim Ingram. Take it away, my friend.
That's Roddy.
Oopsie. That's not Jim Ingram.
I'm just thinking Fanta crisps and water parks. I'm going on holiday with Jeff the next time. My offer up to you is something, once again, sweet, something delicate, linkwood, and it's the flora and fauna that I'm going to bring on offer for you. I want to take something, yet again, as I said, delicate, sweet, pretty much back to what Roy was saying in the first one with the Glencairn 10-year-old. It's that same feel. I could have offered up an independent bottling of linkwood. Yeah, okay, that's what we tend to lean to. But this is 43%. That's the reason why I would pick this one. It's 43% for that very reason. I don't want anything too heavy. Even when I go on holiday, I generally don't pack anything in my case. I'm going to throw into this that I noticed in the chat, Eric Waite saying something that he packs miniatures, samples that he brings with him. Clever. That's what I would do. However, if I were bottling or taking a bottle of something that's not going to break the bank, but it's something that I could enjoy neat, because that's the way I'm going to want to drink it. I'm going to want to drink it neat. It's light, it's sweet, it's delicate, but there's enough oomph to give me enjoyment of an evening sitting in the sun, sitting on the balcony with the Glencairn, which I've also packed. Obviously, there you go. That's my offer.
Here. Jim Ingram, you know how much I love flora and fauna. I'm a sucker for the aesthetics, for the tall round bottle, for the classic 100 paces distance. You can look at it and say that's a bottle of Scotch whiskey. And it's just classic. It's gorgeous. I'm often taken aback by how good it is when you uncork the thing at 43% and just pour it and enjoy it. And it doesn't matter whether it's the Athrusk, the Benrinnes, the Dillion, your Linkwood there. The Linkwood's a 12-year-old, right?
Yep.
They are remarkably charming whiskies. I put it to you, I put it to everybody, and I know that we all have a wee dig and a go, and we like to be vocal about how Diageo are making a backside of it. They are the only producer in Scotland, certainly, and I would go as far to say on the planet that's at the scale that they're at, and make something available from all the distilleries. That became false when they took over, or when they had Rosile going, but now they've even got a Rosile release out there as well. You can't say that about Pernod Ricard. You can't say that about other producers out there in Scotch whisky land. But Diageo do it. We can taste something from each of the individual distilleries. And I would argue that the Linkwoods and Flora and Fauna generally is a well put together product. I really would. Sorry, I shouldn't be shouting for Jim Ingram. I should be shouting for myself. I've still to go on this one here. All right. Okay. Next up, of course, it's me, isn't it? Is it me?
Yes, it is.
I'm third. Yes, it's me next, isn't it? Okay. Since I'm shouting about Diageo, I'll continue to shout about Diageo. Listen, we can have our axe to grind and all of these things we can talk about, and we can get frustrated and we can critique and we can shout, but it has to be balanced. And when they do something well, they own 30 Scotch malt distilleries, my goodness. Some of them are the best that's out there. And sometimes they're able to pull them together and to do something so surprising, so ridiculous, that we don't even bother discovering it or finding it until far too late. This bottle came out in 2020. And it's only now I have discovered that this might be one of my favorite discoveries. No, it is definitely one of my favorite discoveries of 2025. And arguably, it's up there with being, maybe, I don't want to show you this without taking the bottle out because it'll tip and fall and make a mess, but they're even acknowledging their Kilmarnock roots. Okay, they don't have any roots back there now, but this is the original. The box is an amazing magnetic affair. And this is the original Kilmarnock grocer store where Johnny Walker started. Forget about the box. As soon as this is open, the box gets tossed. But at £51, £52, £55 is the most expensive I've seen this. For a blend at 51.2% ABV. And the reason for that ABV is very specific. It's to recall the way that whiskies used to be made in the 19th century. Back before it was legislation to have 40%, that was just an arbitrary made-up number back in the day 100 years ago. This was something that went out of higher ABV, and it shines. I often say on the channel, if you spend 50 quid on a bottle of that and you don't like it, I'll buy it off you. And it's absolutely how I feel about that bottle. It's an absolute peach. It's a peach for summer, but it's a peach for any time of the year. And that's me going to get off my Diageo soapbox. Roddy, I think I'm going to suffer from offering up a blend a bit like you did in round one, but I'll take it a bit like you did in round one, because when we love something, we need to talk about it, right? And now, with that perfect segue, I'll hand over to the inevitable. Oops. All the tiles are in the wrong place. Go for it, big guy. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm not talking about that. When you gave me the brief for this, Roy, I immediately switched into holiday mode. And I don't know about you guys, I don't know about all the barflies in here tonight, but when I'm on holiday, I'm absolutely a lotus eater. You know, I'm on Capri for 10 years or whatever the story was. So the suitcase dram for me has to be something that is good, but also something that I don't have to think about. So that's where I pulled Royal Brackla 12 out of the hat, because I know that whiskey so well, and I don't even have a bottle in the house. I've got other Royal Bracklas. I've got that one, which I still haven't cracked, from the Thompson Brothers. I've got random other things in the cupboard.
Keep talking. I'll see if I can grab a bottle to show the folk. Continue, big guy.
The point is that whereas my first dram was like the whiskey that you don't really, you wouldn't be particularly sad if the random family from the next holiday cottage along came over and rinsed the bottle in one night, because you would have had a good time, and it's only a few bucks to replace it. The point about the Brackla is it's your favourite whiskey. You don't have to think about it, but it's also really, really good because it's your favourite. It's something that you like. So you're drinking highballs during the day, and then when the evening comes, you crack out one dram of something that you know really well, and it's got that quality that just really chimes with you.
Yep.
So for me, this just, I mean, I've talked about Brackla probably to half the people in the chat tonight, and I'm well aware that it's minority sport. But every one of us have got some whiskey that just speaks to us more than it does to most people, and that's like Royal Brackla 12 here is a kind of a placeholder. I know I'm cheating now, Roy. I'm saying I'm pitching for Brackla 12, but I want everybody in their head to think about their favourite dram and vote for that.
Talk, tick, talk, tick. Talk.
Right, fine.
Listen, I'm chuffed. I've got a Royal Brackla 12 up on the shelf, but I struggled. I can't find it right now. It's just, Roddy, you've seen my shelves. You can understand how it might be difficult to discover something on those shelves, but it's up there. The Royal Brackla 12, 46% ABV as well, and it's maybe about 3 or 4 years old now, 5 years old, that official bottling. It came out and it completely redefined what was being offered to us by Royal Brackla. It was this beautifully elegant, sherry, matured 12-year-old. And we all complained about how it was 60 quid. And we protested and we shouted loudly, and then we tried it and we shut up immediately. And we realized that there was very few peers that could touch it. Glendronach was moving off into the much more expensive landscape, right? We had this fully natural Royal Brackla from Dewar's, and it was an absolute cracker, an official product. And you've done a canny thing, Roddy, because you've got your Thompson Brothers Royal Brackla on site. You're one of the founding members of the Royal Brackla Appreciation Society, of which there is still only 3 members, right?
We're very selective, Roy. We're very selective.
Yes. And I hope that it remains to be the case. It's nothing to do with popularity of Royal Brackla. It's everything to do with your sipping habits. But you've stayed chasing that epiphany moment you had with that bottle of Royal Brackla 10 years ago, 20 years ago, however many years ago it was, right?
years ago. Yeah.
You're chasing it. So the Royal Brackla thing, it's not actually a loyalty to a specific brand or distillery. It's a loyalty to a flavor, to a moment, to something that hit you so hard that you put a marker in the ground at that point to define it. And that was to found the Royal Brackla. Is that what you call yourselves, the RBAS?
The Royal Brackla Appreciation Society, yes.
Yes. Can we put a shout out for the other two members?
One of them's in Australia,
Mark.
sadly. Mark. David has got 2 small children, so I don't know if he's often on the YouTube, to be honest.
That's a lot of work on your shoulders. That means it's left to you to talk about. And I have to say, it remains, Royal Brackla remains, despite that 12-year-old being a rock solid bottle, it remains an under the radar pick, even for enthusiasts. Some work needs to be done. Some work to be done. Highland Hamish has bought us a dram as well. Sorry. Highland Hamish has said, tell Roddy to get in touch with me and I'll get him across the threshold at Royal Brackla in September. I'll even drive him from Inverness. So there you go. You've got a distillery visit invite there, Roddy, from Highland Hamish. Fantastic guy as well. Hamish, thanks for your dram. And Stephen Wilson bought me a dram as well to say Aquavite. Enjoy the summer break. Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you for all your support. Cheers. I've got through this long drink remarkably quickly. But I do believe that we have all put forward our case for the Suitcase bottle. Have we all? We've had the case for Royal Brackla 12. We've had it for Lechic Rioja, Flora and Fauna Linkwood, and myself on my blend pick, the Johnny Walker anniversary pick. So I think it's time to, yes, that's right. I think it's time to, now that we've all pleaded for our votes, it's time to close it. We have a clear winner again. I'm going to end the poll in 30 seconds time. So if you've not voted and you're in live, please get in and put yourself a vote. It's kind of close. One of them's at 37. The follow-up is at 32, then 24. And the one that's drawn up the tail this time, bless, is at 6%, which I think is an even worse performance than the Willie Grants at the start of tonight as well. So that's interesting. Okay, let's have you. 30 seconds to go. Any guesses? What's the Coos tail?
Just close it now.
Close it now while Jim's winning. Okay. Jim's absolutely spot on. I'll go from first to last this time. Jim nails it with his pick of a Diageo product, a Linkwood, 43% Flora and Fauna, a really nice charmer of a pick there, Jim. Well done. 36% of the vote. It just beats out Lechic Rioja, which got even closer towards the end as well. It moved from 32 to 33%, whereas the Flora and Fauna dropped from 37 to 36. But it still takes second place. Royal Brackla 12 in third, Roddy, with 23% of the vote. Very respectable, but me on a miserly 6% of the vote. You are maniacs. You're judging this whiskey by the fact it's a Diageo Johnny Walker or by the fact it's a blend, but you need to taste this whiskey. This came out in 2020. It was an anniversary blend, of course, 1820 to 2020, 200 years. They picked the best of stuff for this, put it out at 51.2% ABV, and I'm sad that I came to it so late. It's beautiful whiskey. Right in the middle of the flavor spectrum, an absolute banger. Like I said, I am happy to take the 2 points for last place here, but I would love you to discover this if you do have a chance. It's better than all of these guys' picks. Anyway, sorry. Lowlander is saying rant mode on. Apologies, Lowlander. I couldn't help myself. I'm nursing it a little bit. That's me. That's me coming in last place here. So the points after round 2 are, let's see, I should have thought this through. I need to let you guys to talk amongst yourselves. I'll ask a question in order to stimulate the chat. My picks of Holiday Sipper versus Suitcase Bottle, were those difficult? Were they ambiguous? Or were they easy to pick out?
As in on the poll, which ones? As in, did we know they were your picks? Is that what you mean?
No, the category. How to define a holiday sipper
All right.
versus a suitcase bottle. So the holiday sipper was, I suppose, any time, but a suitcase bottle is one. If you're going to enjoy yourself, you want to have this as your companion. Was that obvious or not? The way I summed it up was permashelf. You know, the permashelf concept. As soon as you don't have it anymore, you want to replace it. That kind of permanent companion thing.
But I actually think, as I said at the time, I think Eric Waite actually said a very clever thing in that, and I do this. If I'm going, I'll fill sample bottles of different samples of whiskey and take them with me, knowing that we can take more in the smaller sizes, and then every dram you're having something a little different from your own collection. But I would agree. Yes, that two totally different things. Regular sipper in the house and something that you're going to take with you is something that you better be sure that you're going to enjoy for a weekend or a week or however long it takes. You're going to be on holiday. You better be sure you're going to something that you're going to like the whole time you're there.
But then,
go ahead.
So as soon as Roy said to me about the holiday theme, so I don't know about everybody else, but there's definitely times when I've come in from work and I want to like read my book or watch some nonsense movie or something, and I want a dram to go with it, and that means it has to be a dram that I don't have to think about. So and then when I'm on holiday, that's doubled and trebled. I've been out wandering about looking at tourist stuff or up in the hills or whatever, and I want to come back and just have a dram and not have to think about it. And that's so the holiday sipper to me, it has to be something like whatever the local blend is. You go to Spain and it would be the DYC whiskey, or you go to France and it'd be some weird blend that is only available in France, Glen Turner or something. You want whiskies that they're decent, but you can safely not think about them, and that's for me. Like for each of the three things that I picked tonight, they were all stand-ins for a kind of representation, so the holiday sipper, the zero thought whiskey, pour it, tastes good, stare at the scenery,
Perfect.
The suitcase dram, you know what it is. It's one of your favourites.
It's your pal. It's your companion.
And then for number 3, which we'll come to, anyway, I don't want to give the game away for that.
So I am on record suggesting that I am now best pals with Johnny. Really, it's just, Roddy, have you tried this one?
I have not, Roy. No.
Oh, I feel I have an amount of confidence in your. Anyway, that will happen hopefully in the future.
Sorry, can I throw a little snippet in there that actually was Johnny Walker Green that led me to Linkwood in the first place, the 15-year-old Johnny Walker Green.
Makes sense.
I always was convinced that it was quite Linkwood heavy, and that it sort of led me to that very light Speyside style, and it was Linkwood was one that stood out from it.
Absolutely. I wish I bought a very recent bottle of Johnny Walker Green 15, and I'm devastated. Right. I'm devastated. It doesn't taste any. It doesn't remind me in any way of that whiskey that I picked up and thought, wow, I'm enjoying a Johnny Walker. Blended malt, of course. Linkwood, Kalila. Can't remember the other two they talk about. Talisker, maybe.
Probably.
Can't remember the other two of the 4 that they quote on the lake. Cardew. I'm just making up. Cragganmore. Cragganmore. That's right. But I loved it. And Scotty Monroe, one of his favourite wee indulgences that he does is he seeks out old vintage bottles of the original Johnny Walker Green when it first appeared on auction, and that's his wee kind of holiday sipper, I would suggest. Anyway, I don't know if you enjoyed the first session of Bottleships, but we're going to break up with another wee go. You're up for it? Good. I'll let you know what the points are as it stands. Before we go into this round, Roddy and Jim are on equal points of 17 apiece. That can't be right. I've made a
That
mistake.
can't be right.
I've definitely made a mistake there.
I'm not complaining.
Jim, aye, you're right, Jim. I'm gonna change that right now.
I'm pretty sure Jeff's on 10.
Minus points for Legic.
I hear what you're saying.
We didn't mention
I'll
that.
beg 10.
Quick fix behind the scenes. Apologies. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, apologies, Roddy. You beat me into last place. I'm now last place at 14 points. You're on third at 17. Jim's made it up to 22, but Jeff is clean in the lead by 4 points with 26. That means let me get rid of this so we can actually see Jeff. Apologies. That means we're going to go into the next round of Bottleships with Jeff having the advantage. Here we have the tall round, 3 grid spaces, is going to be taken up by Thompson Brothers 6-year-old TBBSW blended Scotch whiskey. Jeff, I hope you're familiar, but I'm sure that you know the description about this thing regardless. Yep. And the Dumpy, the 2 grid space bottle pick this time is Port Charlotte's 10-year-old. The rock solid Guardian of Islay that is the 50% ABV from Brookladdy. And then the mini in this pick, taking up 1 grid space, is Balblair's 18-year-old. Balblair gets you 10 points if you sink it. Dumpy, if you 2 points per square, 9 points if you sink it. And the tall round, 8 points if you sink it, 1 point per square. Good luck, Jeff. Take it away.
I'm going to go with the bottle I know the most. I'm aiming for a Port Charlotte 10, and I'm going to go for a B7.
You're going to go B7 for this one.
Yeah, fire when ready.
And this is you going for Port Charlotte, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
Good luck. Oh, couldn't quite pull off his trick from the first round. Roddy, it's over to you, my friend. Actually, it's Jim, isn't it?
I don't mind. Roddy can.
I'm just sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm spinning the plates as I go.
It's all right. Go. Seriously, go back to the order you were in, Roy, because that was sort of the order.
You are, and genuinely, you're in second place, right? So you get this. The advantage is yours.
Oh, rather Roddy was taking it, to be honest with you.
I need assistance now.
Right, Rich and Spot. You see, I was sort of probably aiming for the Balblair 18 in an attempt to hit them one. I'm going to go for H for Highland Hamish 6. Far away.
Sorry, H4 Highland Hamish 6?
Yeah.
What?
Aye, the H6. Far
H6.
away. Aye, H was as in that was. I'm using phonetic. It's Highland Hamish is phonetic.
Go now, I get you. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, I miss.
This one could take hours.
Nah, you'll be surprised. Okay, now we've got Roddy.
Kings. Let me try I7, please.
I7. Your thinking being?
The Balblair.
Okay. When you're ready.
Somehow both rich and delicate, but you know.
Okay.
I don't know. Fire.
Oh. Now I need you to pay attention to the colour of the blast, the hit that you've had there.
What? Seriously, you would put the the Tea Bros blend there. Absolute, absolute maniac.
Listen,
Okay,
you can
fair
either
enough.
take points from this and be polite, or you can just jump up and down like an angry man. Think, please.
Fine, well, fine, well.
We can fight. We can fight after you've sunk the bottle. Okay.
Okay. H7, please. Continuing with the Thompson Brothers.
You're going with H7.
Yes. Fire, fire, fire.
Nice work. Nice work. Nice work. We're getting some good points here for Roddy.
And J7. J for, what is that in the phonetic alphabet? Jam? Jumpers? Giraffe?
J7.
Yeah, please. Fire.
Oh! Now that's a very interesting thing to have happened there. You to be shouting at me for being a maniac, and then you pick J7. Okay, well we'll continue.
How much smoke is there in that whiskey? Zero, zip, none, zilch.
I agree. We agree.
Fine. That's fine. Carry on. That's fine.
Oh, this game has brought out things that I didn't expect, and I'm enjoying it very much. So now we're down to Jeff. This is just points for him. Sorry. Continue, Jeff.
So I'm thinking of going for a H5. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go with G7, please.
G7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire. Sorry, fire.
Okay, superb. You get a point, and Angie sink it.
Thanks, Roddy.
Oh. Well done. So we're on
Steward's inquiry. Absolutely.
You can oh dear. I know that the controversy, the thing is going to kill this game is people disagreeing with where they're placed. Okay, Jeff is still very much in the driving seat. Where do you want to take us now?
I'll go for C6, Campbelltown 6.
C6. I like the way you're thinking, buddy.
Fire.
Over to Jim.
I'm still laughing at Roddy's phonetic alphabet. J's for what? Jam, jumper. Oh, you gotta love Scotland. Well then, Smoky Rich, E for Echo 6, which is where I started in the first place.
E6 for Jim.
Final answer. Sorry, fire away.
Oh, and you're back with the crosshairs in front of you, Roddy.
Right, I'm going to try and find that bubbler.
Nice.
So I think that is one of these whiskies that's, I'm going to go G5 for that. So, G, what would that be? Giraffe?
Giraffe 5. Grants. You picked Willie Grants tonight. Let's go Grants 5.
Gordon's.
Gordon's.
Gin 5.
Oh, I heard fire. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. Jeff.
I'm going to copy Roddy and aim for the Balblair. I'm going to go for a H4. Herbert 4.
Herbert 4.
Fire.
Oh, Jim.
You see, I think I'm doing the same, but we're trying to think like you here.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
light and delicate. That Belblaria 18. It's quite, although it's quite rich. So but I'm gonna go for Ingram 2. Fire away.
Oh wow.
2. Wow. Oh.
Cold water. Roddy, back in the seat.
Trixie. You know what? I'm going to shift my focus to the Port Charlotte,
Okay.
and I'm going to go A5, please.
Speak up.
Sorry, A5. So Albert 5.
A5.
Arapaho. Awkward.
Oh. It is very, very, very smoky. Yes.
Even
Jeff.
for you, Roy.
Yes, even for me. Oh, I'm looking forward to my summer break. Come on, Jeff.
Because you said it's very smoky for you, so that could be like a H5.
I'm going to help all of you right now. You're all very, very close. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm going to go for a B5.
A B5 for Jeff.
Yeah, Bottleship 5.
And you're looking for the Port Charlotte, right?
Yep. Hope so. Fire.
Oh. Okay, you do have a wee bit of a choice to make.
Yeah.
Could be vertical or horizontal here. You do need to find one other space. You've currently picked up 2 points for that one, Jeff. Come on, let's see if you can pick up another 2 plus sinking at 5.
I'm going to go. I'm seeing if I've got a bottle beside me to have a sip. I'm going to go for B6, Banjo 6.
Banjo 6.
Fire.
Oh, yeah, beauty. Jeff, my goodness. You are, you're sweeping it up. You're sweeping it up, and you're still in charge.
It's all luck. It's all luck.
You now get another go to search for that wee Balblair.
Okay. If you was to describe the Balblair to someone who's never had it, Roy, what would you say?
Come on, no, get off.
Would you say smoky? Would you say?
Mute that man, Roy. Mute that man.
I'm almost answering.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a punt on Flamingo 5.
F5.
Yeah,
The
F5.
Balblair.
Yeah, fire.
So there are still points on this board. Jim, you have an opportunity, my friend.
I am heading back over towards G for, gosh, I can't believe it's G2. G2. Fire away.
G2 for Jim.
That's the one.
Oh, no, Jim's swimming. Roddy, come on.
H5. H for
Okay. So hoping that there was a lot of very, very close hits nearby. Picking out H5 there.
H5. Fire.
Beauty! So Roddy swoops in with a 10. So in total, you get 12 points out of that, 15 for Jeff. Jim gets a donut. I, of course, get a donut on that one. I'm quite right, Jim. You didn't get anything on that one. Would that be correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Apologies, big guy. There will be another wee round. So that means that I need to try and do some maths, which is never my best subject. So that means that, Jim, you're on that. That means that Roddy's on
300, I think. Sorry, 299.
I cannot believe this, man. Can that be true? Somebody is killing it, and somebody is being killed. Okay.
Come on, Roy, you're killing us with this.
I know. We do have movements here. My maths is terrible. Okay. Here is the points after the completion of round 2. 1 round to go. Look at this. Me in last place with 14 points. Absolutely fine. I'll get you next time. Third place with 22 points. Great score for Jim. 29 points. Roddy, you've absolutely come up the ranks here. Second place, but Jeff is running out of sight here. 41 points. Incredible scenes.
You see, the next time, can we play Hungry Hungry Hippos?
Yeah, we game of Kerplunk or Buckaroo. Would that go down a bit better, Jim? Would it? Jimmy Legg has bought me a dram to say I'll never take a holiday from Flavour. Tell Roddy, would you? I think that's his olive branch. Would that be right? Helen Williamson is saying, as much fun as this is, it's really bedtime. Thank you so much for all you're doing for providing us so much enjoyment in this evening. Have a fantastic holiday and see you on the other side. Helen, thank you for your nice comments and also for your very recent support. Have a fantastic summer, Helen. Cheers. And sleep well. We still have some holiday categories to talk about. This time I'm talking about the welcome home. Now, of course, it's that kind of adrenaline, vacuum, that kind of sense of kind of bittersweet. You're keen to get home, you're happy to get home, but you've got that's the holidays over. But there's something at home that you've been looking forward to. There's a special treat on the shelf. There's something that you've not had while you've been away on holiday. There's something that you've not been drinking while you've been hanging out on the back, having barbecues and stuff. There's that nice, comforting, welcome home dram. The way I can summarize this in a single word is treat. This is a special treat to come home to. I think it makes sense to everybody, right? We can all get it. While who's in the lead here? It's obviously Jeff. Jeff gets to take it away again. Jeff, while you do that, I'm going to make the poll up for everyone to vote on and ask them to. So, but before I do that, I'll remind everyone that's in live right now, don't vote straight away. You might, if you want to, wait until we've all put forward our pitches, our individual pitches for our picks. Bear in mind that I'm up last this time because I'm at the cow's tail, so it might take a wee bit longer, but you only get one hit. So if you vote now, you can't change your mind later. Hold your water, please. That said, please take it away. Jeff, what's your welcome home dram?
So for me, coming home is like family, seeing it all and that lot. So you want the Werther's Originals, the sweet toffees of like seeing your granddad for so long, the warmth of like a log fire and just a mixture of sweet, savory, smoke, everything. So I am possibly shooting myself in the foot by going for a small batch, and that is the Glasgow 1770 cognac cask finish, which is lightly peated, and this is just something to come home to. You're not going to take it on holiday with you because it's too bloody tall. You're going to come home, leave it on the shelf, pour a glass. You can either dive in deep, pick out prickly pears from it, or you could just sit back, relax, open up your mail that's been hanging around and just take it easy as you find your way home with this in the glass. Don't think I need to say anything else to this. Cheers.
I'm sorry to say that I have lost, we've not only lost Roddy, but I've lost my chat while that happened. So I'm now refreshed. This happens. It happens a while. I think my PC is starting to just get a wee bit old now. But I now need to rebuild that poll again from the beginning, which is fine. Apologies. You just need to pace yourselves a wee bit longer. We've just had Jeff's proposition. I think Roddy's away to grab his by the looks of things. So we'll skip Roddy now and we'll ask Jim while I rebuild the poll, buddy. You go ahead with yours. You might get to take a wee bit longer than a minute with this one. Take the floor, my friend.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm pitching this at Jimmy Legg. No, not really. I love being on holiday, as most of us do. I detest going on holiday. I detest the travel. I detest airports. I detest the stress of ferry ports and train stations and that sort of thing. I just cannot be bothered with it. But at least we know we have a holiday at the end of it. So we're away to enjoy ourselves for however long. On the way back, we have all that stress, but we're coming home, back to butts. So I want something incredibly special. I want that bottle. I want that whiskey that I hold for special occasions. This is me coming home. This is me saying to myself, I'm just going to sit here and drink what I enjoy. I'm going to drink Springbank 18-year-old.
Oh.
This is one of my almost dream bottles of whiskey still. It's still in there, as in it back to day one of drinking whiskey, almost in that the first time I ever drank whiskey that made my eyes roll back in my head and go, Jesus, this is what it's all about. It was Springbank, and it was the 18 that still does it for me. It's still just that beautiful thing that whenever I come home and everybody has done their thing, we're back, the bags are unpacked, we're back in the house, everybody's settled down, went and done their own thing. I'm going to pour one of these and go, that was fantastic. This is amazing. Happy days.
Pulling out the big guns. I like the strategy. Springbank. Listen, it's the first time that it's appeared tonight. We have to acknowledge that, right? I don't think there's any other Springers or Glengyle Kilkerran type products, which is probably triggering Mr. Legg, which is fine. So there we go. I've managed to put the poll up. Now the poll is now running with just me and Roddy left to put forward our welcome home drams. Since I'm in last place, Roddy, that must mean it's you, my friend. Were you running away to pick up the bottle there?
No, I was running away for a pee.
Oh, nice.
as everybody in the chat has spotted. But,
apologies. All right, buddy, take it away. What is your welcome home dram? What are you looking forward to coming home to?
So, again, I was absolutely in holiday mode, so I was thinking, what would I want to come home to? So it'd be something that'd be really interesting. And, should have gone for Springbank, but I didn't. My choice would be something that I've been eyeing on the shelves since it came in to the shop, which is one of the signatory 100 proof range. And they've released, I think it's number 57. They've released a Balmenach 9-year-old at 100 proof. And that is the kind of thing that gets me interested. I taste whiskey all the time, and my colleagues pull me up for this, Matthew and Shane will be like, we've got some samples to taste, and I'll have been in the middle of an email. I'll be like, oh, fine, forgetting how privileged I am that I get new things to try all the time, but then, every now and again, something will come around that I'm like, oh, that is really interesting. So the Balmenach, you don't see much of it as an indie.
Absolutely.
There's no official bottlings, but it's a really interesting whiskey. It's a worm tub distillery. It produces that heavy kind of spirit, and that kind of spirit sits really nicely in sherry cask. So I've been eyeing the bottle on the shelves. I've already bought 2 bottles this month, so I'm like, I don't need more whiskey. But it's signatory 100 proof. It's like $50. So I'll probably come home from my holiday and be like, I've just exchanged some currency for pounds. What am I going to do with these pounds that I didn't spend on holiday? I know. I'll buy a obscure wee bottle that nobody's heard of, and it'll be really interesting. There we go.
I have to say, to get through a session tonight with these categories and not have one entry from Signatory Vintage 100 Proof Series would have been a miss. Thanks for putting it forward. I think it will come into play in your favour, Roddy, a wee bit later tonight, if it doesn't help you out now. I think it's a great pick. I love the fact that you've picked Balmenach as well. Like you say, if we wanted to go out and try some Balmenach, there have literally been times in our whiskey lives that the Balmenach drought has been very real. Even if you were onto the auction sites and the bigger retailers, it would be tough to track down Balmainac. It's one of the most under the radar distilleries. You can take a tour at Balmainac, but it's a gin tour. It's nothing to do with the whiskey that you make there. And what's amazing about it is the whiskey that they make there is an absolute gem. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I know that that's out there now, that 9-year-old. It's still available, right? It's not one I've picked up, but it's one that I'm looking at. I would like to. Roddy, is your earpiece still working?
Yes. At the moment, I've got.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. It's down to me. I'll try and do it in 60 seconds, even though Jim and Roddy managed to get a wee bit more time. That means by a process elimination, you know what I'm going to put forward. I'm going to put forward something that I really am looking forward to getting my hands on, regardless of whether I'm coming home from a hard day out doing something with the kids or whatever, coming home from holiday, whatever it is. I know that when I just want something to just really make me appreciate whiskey, just look at it in the glass and marvel at it. Marvel at its complexity, its relative affordability, its balance, its beauty, its amazing kind of weird bass notes, but then a fabulous firework display of top notes as well. The complexity, the detail, it's rude how good this is. And it's still available. It's a wee bit pricey. It's up there. It's north of 100. I picked this last one up for 110 euros, however that was. This is Longmorn's Secret Speyside 18-year-old. It's well talked about on the channel. If you doubt me, I've got my backup here. The last time I was coming through Frankfurt, they had it still on the shelf, and I picked up my backup bottle. I'm serious about how much I love this whiskey, and I know that you know how serious I am about this. Longmorn's 18, 48% ABV, Secret Speyside. It is one of the best Longmorn releases, official distillery Longmorn releases, that there's ever been. I thought it was too expensive when it first arrived. Now I think it's a wee bit of a bargain. There we go. I don't think it can help me much in the big scheme of things. They're going to... Somebody pulled out a joker and made the use of that joker tonight. I think it was a very well timed, a very good joker as well. I'm going to close the poll in the next 10 or 20 seconds. So if you're live and you've not voted yet, please get your votes in now. Pick something either based on your love of that whiskey or based on the pitch that you've read tonight. You don't need to have tried these things. This is Signatory's 100 proof Balmainac from Roddy, the Glasgow Cognac Cask small batch from Jeff. Jim picked the Springbank 18-year-old and volleyed an 80-yard screamer into the top corner.
Somebody had to be that guy.
and I picked Longmorn's 18-year-old Secret Speyside. So there you have it. You guys maybe know what the winner here is, of course, but I can tell you now as I end this poll now. It ends. I'm going to wait for the summary to drop in. Come on. Okay, it ends at 45% of the vote. In first place going to Jim's inevitable Springbank 18. So Jim picks up 12 points there. I need to work out what I'm doing here. I hate keeping these scores. I absolutely hate it. Then second place with 23% of the vote is... Wow, you pipped me with your Balmainac. I think I might have sold the Balmainac on your behalf, Roddy. I was in second place. Well done, Roddy, for your Signatory Vintage value pick for the Balmainac. You get 8 points for that one.
Roy, that's 20 points for second place. I think you'll find.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. 20 points? Yeah. And another 20 for picking up the mistake. Yeah, you can have those too. Jeff, unfortunately, my friend, you came last with your Glasgow pick, and I think that's got so much to do with the fact that it's strategy. It's people voting. Small batch, by definition, small batch. It's not getting out there to a lot of folks, right? They don't know how good the value and the selection is from those Glasgow picks. So you come in with 2 points, and I pick up 4 points. Now, before we go into another wee round of... I need to go in and work out some points here. Another wee round of I Am a Distillery. I Am a Distillery? No, another wee round of Bottleships. I'm making up too many whiskey games. I don't even remember what they're called anymore. The Dramface podcast has been recorded tomorrow night, and that's when we'll be doing the I Am a Distillery. Hopefully, there's some Dramface podcasts going to be coming out across the summer to keep you all going from both Gregor and obviously the Colonials as well. But this is not I Am a Distillery. This is Bottleships. Let me ask, now that that's all done here, I've asked you to pick holiday drams tonight. Holiday sipper, suitcase, welcome home. Are you drinking less whiskey in summer than you might in winter? Discuss amongst yourselves.
Pete?
I'll put that to Jim.
All right. Do you know, I do tend to drink more cold beer in the summer and just tend to sip on cold stuff. And the thing about what is this word summer that we're discussing? It's something that that we here in Northern Ireland and Roddy there in Scotland. Jeff, you're different. You maybe get a wee bit better summers than we do, but it's something that we don't see an awful lot of is hot weather, or don't feel an awful lot of. So we tend to nothing really changes an awful lot. But no, I don't think my drinking. I wouldn't suggest that my drinking changes an awful lot. But yes, the whiskey that I drink does. I don't tend to lean toward smokier whiskies in the summer.
So it changes, but you don't drink less.
I wouldn't say I drink less, no.
It's interesting. Yep. Roddy.
No, after you, Roddy. After you.
No, I'm the same. I think I go through phases of liking X or Y or Z, where X might be things just in bourbon barrels, or going through a phase of not enjoying cask strength. But there's no pattern to that. It's just like you get a spell where you things that are in port casks are shouting at you or whatever. There's no pattern apart from that. I think I'm probably. I suspect I probably do drink more cold beer in the summer. So.
More cold beer. Now I'll take you in that one. Absolutely. To the point where I have to be careful, because there are some beers. There's a specific style of beer that I really love. Hazy IPAs, New England IPAs, tropical IPAs, that type of thing. When I'm thirsty in the summer, I am finding, rather than craving a nice bottle of fruit juice or a nice long iced pint of water, I'm going, ooh, I'm thirsty, I'll have a beer. So it's kind of it's a really nice thing to have, but it's a dangerous thing too, because you're cooking dinner and you're 2 beers in, suddenly the potatoes are burning and you don't care, right? It's just it is a thing. It's absolutely a thing. Anyway, so I drink a lot less whiskey in summertime, to the point when I go to Spain and on holiday in Spain, I'm just trying to rehydrate most of the time. Whiskey, unless it's dark, it's late at night and I'm up on the roof terrace or something, that kind of idea, and you're in the mood for a dram then when the air is cool. But when it's warm outside, I don't find myself craving whiskey at all. Jeff?
I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and go the complete opposite. I don't know what Jim's saying about not heat. I'm currently sat in a 30-degree shed, sweating through these shorts that I'm glad the camera is from nipple high. And it's the case of in the summer, I don't know if it's just because everything feels more laid back and relaxed, like kids are on holiday and that lot, or the evenings are longer, so you feel like you've got more time. But I find I'm definitely having more, and I'm also leaning more towards PT whiskey, as my amazing selection shows. It is a case of whether it's reliving by the campfire in a glass, or if it's making up for lost lack of holidays growing up, or going to field parties where someone would throw a can of deodorant into a little barrel of fire You get that waft of like aromatic smell and smoke and danger. But for me, it is, summer is my whiskey season.
Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think that's one of the coolest things, is to just celebrate how different we are, which actually is illustrated by the whiskies that's being picked tonight. Let's be honest. I have a confession to make. We're closing out tonight with Menno, a quiz at the end hosted by Menno. And I've been looking, I've had a side eye on where's Menno, where's Menno, where's Menno. Eventually I pick up my phone to see if there's any panic messages from Menno. And he's been sitting in the background waiting for a link to join us all this time. But he's here. That's good news. And for us participating live, probably a bit of bad news as well. Anyway, I'll bring everyone up to speed with the scores, how they stand. In last place, it's me, and 18 points. I'm going to struggle from here on in. I can't score anything from this as a game of, Bottleships. Is it a space side? It's another game. Bottleships, I can't score anything from. Third place is Whiskey Novice Jim on 34, very close to Roddy on 37, but Jeff Whiskey is still ahead despite Jim and Roddy making progress. He's still ahead on 45 points. Now that means that there's a lot to play for between you three guys. Nothing for me as a mere spectator in the background on the last game of Bottleships. For this lineup, we have, I hope you were listening to my description, we have Johnny Walker's 200th anniversary, 51.2% ABV blend, an absolute belter. In the middle, we also have a blend. This time, slightly different take on a blend, but I think it's one that we've maybe got a chance of being a wee bit familiar with if we're participating in this game tonight, and that's Turntable's Bittersweet Symphony. A lot of us enjoyed that. And the mini tonight is going to hide somewhere on this grid as Tomatin's 12-year-old. Tomatin's official 12-year-old mini. I don't know how that makes you feel. I've been deliberately awkward with these. You know, everything that you've had up till now is a very obvious character for. You've been very close, despite the fact that it's me picking these layouts on the flavor map. You guys have been landing your missiles, let's say, very close tonight. I think this might be a wee bit trickier for you. So before we bring Menno in for the quiz at the end, this is your last chance to score points on the games tonight before Menno's quiz. In the lead, it's Jeff. You need to take it away, my friend. What have you got for us?
I'm a big lover of the Turntable Bittersweet, so I'm going to go very rich and guess E8. Everything 8. Like me at a buffet.
E8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire!
Oh, fire.
Sorry. There's a bit of a miss for you there, buddy, but good effort. Moving on to Jim. Take it away, Jim.
Isn't Roddy beating me now? Should he not be?
Oh, have I changed it? I've screwed up? Yes, he's in second place, isn't he? Let me fix that. There you go, Roddy. Right back in second place. That was the opposite from what happened last time, I think. Apologies, fella. Thank you, Jim, for your graciousness.
I'm going to go right in the middle of the grid, and I'm hoping to hit either the Tomatin 12 or the blend. So I'm going to say F4, please. So, Farrago, fancy.
Fettercairn.
Fettercairn 4. Fire!
Oh, I like the strategy, though. Now it is you, Jim. Take it away, buddy.
I'm thinking along the same lines as Roddy. So I'm going to go for G for Glengoyne, shall we say 3.
G3.
Fire away.
Wow. What were you aiming for there, Jim, when you went for G3?
That's what I'm thinking along the same lines as Roddy, where, you know, that's probably going to hit. I haven't had the turntable, but maybe around the Tomatin or the Johnny Walker could be around that sort of delicate light, but still
Love it.
not too far into the delicate light.
Good stuff.
I was
Okay,
obviously wrong.
Jeff.
I'm going to take a punt for E6.
E6.
Yeah. Egg 6. Fire.
Edredar 6 is a miss. Back to Roddy already.
Okay.
Thinning it out here, though.
Trixie. So we're on G again, so one of the many Glens. G6, please. And again, I'm hoping to catch either the Tomatin or the Johnny Walker. Fire!
Despite you missing, Roddy, you deserve a hug for the enthusiasm. Thank you, big guy. the twin. Love it. Jim, it's getting thinned out quickly. It's falling to you.
Well, it is, but we're still sort of. I'm still following that sort of. So I'm going to go for H for how is Macallan still considered popular? H2.
I'll go Highland Park.
Far away.
Highland Park 2. Oh,
Darn it.
I've worked out a way for me to earn points. I should get a point for every miss that you have.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Can I remind you that Jeff is leading on 45 and I'm in last with 14, so it doesn't matter. Keep your protest. I can't change the rules mid-game, don't worry. Right, what do we have, Jeff?
I'm going to go for Heebie-Jeebie 5, H5.
Amazing. Fire. Wow. These are deceptive.
A nice pattern.
Deceptive shit. I mean, it's amazing. If you could see this from my perspective, amazing. Roddy.
All right. Trixie. I'm sticking to my plan to try and catch either the. So this time I'm going to try F for French fancy. 5 points.
F5.
2 points. Really, 2 points.
That's how they do it. Finally. So we've hit a yellow. So that's our tall round. That's 3 grid squares. There's 2 ways for it to go, big guy. It's up to you to choose.
Elbow 5.
E5.
Elbow 5. Fire.
Oh, he's in. He's still got a 50-50 for this one. It's not a fait accompli. It could go in a different direction. Where are we going to go?
Delicious donut 5.
D5. Take it away, fella.
Fire!
Oh, and Roddy ends up with 2 points, and he leaves it. He leaves it for James.
Sorry, Roddy.
Oh no.
I think can you focus on the Tomatin, please?
Jim, can I ask you where you might be going here?
I'm going to go for G for grateful. 5.
Glenn Grateful.
Fire away.
Superb, Jim.
Sorry, Roddy.
So you scoop yourself 6 points for that one. Well done, Jim. And you're still in charge.
So we're still looking for the. I still think that the tomatin. I did like the way Roddy was thinking there, that it has to be into that sort of rich and delicate sort of thing. But I think it's going to spread out a little further. So I'm going to go for I can't believe people are still watching this. 7. I7.
That's what I was worried about the last time we played this game.
I'm loving it.
Right, I7, buddy.
Fire when ready.
No, it passes to Jeff.
Oh, I'm going to go with F7. Fantastic 7.
7.
Fire.
Oh, he's only gone and done it. He's only gone and done it. Now he still needs
Just
to be
where
clever
to
here,
go.
because he could go and end. There's actually a 25% chance, a 1 in 4 chance.
Roddy.
I'm gonna go with ET7. E7.
E7. Look at Roddy's chewing his fingers here.
Yeah.
He
Fire.
is not, this is not positive for you. He's open.
Oh, no.
It's not easy for Roddy. It's not straightforward. He's got a chance. Strong chance. Is he? What's going on?
I'm going to go for flipping heck 8.
Flipping heck 8 is locked in.
Yes, indeed. Are we ready?
Oh! It's a 50-50 for Jim.
That's the one that I've never. Well, I never had the. Oh man.
Yep.
Right. G for. Gosh, here we go. 7.
G7 for Jim.
Make it so.
Gosh. Say fire.
Fire away. Make it so. Fire away.
Oh, nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. So he gets 7 for that. Jim, nice. My goodness. And Jeff, you got 2 for that. Okay. You're still in charge, Jim.
I think that it's. I'm going to F6. F for 6.
F6. You're going for the Tomatin 12.
Fire when ready.
Tomatin 12.
Oh
No. Open water. Clear water. Now, Jeff, you're in a strong position here. But you've been struggling this round.
Yeah,
The other boys are scoring. You need to start punching. What can you do?
He really doesn't.
I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for H6, as in how can I finish this as soon as I can?
H6.
Fire.
Back to Roddy. Exactly what you wanted. Come on, Roddy.
H for help me, please. 4.
H4.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh dear. Jim.
Go on,
I'm
Jim.
going
Go for 8.
I'm going to be following the crowd later anyway. So Bob Wenting said India 1, so I'm going to go with India 1. Fire away.
Rapid fire. Come on, Jeff.
Bob.
Come on.
Right. I'm going to go with Henrietta the Third. So H3.
H3.
Fire.
Yes! He's done it. 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 And 10 for Jeff. Wow.
I needed that.
So I've got some addition to do here to work out what the score is before we go into the quiz at the end.
So while Roy's doing his arithmetic, can we talk about how weird his bread placements were?
How you say that? Look at this. Look at this. That's incredible. And if we went back to this, you talk about how weird it is, Mr. Graham, and I love having you here, buddy. But look at this. This was round 2. These were all very, very close. It's hardly all over the map. Let's go back to number 1 here.
Excuse me, we're meant to be adding things up.
Sorry. Did I take this personally, do you think? Look at this. How close that was. That's
I was raising talking points for Jeff and Jim, and here we've got you butting in when you're meant to be adding up sums.
Right. I'm sorry, sir. I'll continue with my arithmetic. Please, on you go.
I'm just a very, very bad loser, okay?
I'm still on. I'm still in on nothing.
Roddy, you were actually doing very well there. That you actually just gave us points. You were
You're a
giving them away.
Thanks for reminding me of that, Jim. You're very welcome.
But it's very much appreciated from Ireland to our brothers over in Scotland.
I'm not even remotely bitter. Not at all. I'm trying very hard to be gracious and failing to be so. But
do you remember those days back in Scapa Flow whenever the submarines just
oh dear.
Okay. I'm going to bring in Menno here as I share the scores with everyone because he's been patiently waiting for a link. He's prepared the quiz at the end for us. I'm going to share the scores. Menno, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good. Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you for your patience.
No worries.
After the pasting I've taken from my peers here tonight on the panel, I'm ready for the Menno quiz at the end. I don't really care what happens, but given the fact that, let me share the scores with you, Menno. Given the fact that Roddy is in 3rd with 39 points. Second place is Jim with 47. First place, 10 points clear, is Jeff with 57, whereas I'm on 18.
Mm-hmm.
If any of us scored 10 out of 10 on the Menno quiz at the end tonight, how many points would that be worth tonight, Menno?
Well, you could swap with any of the other contestants of your choosing. How about that?
Take the points from anyone else
if
you wanted to. Right, okay. That's something to play for. By the way, did I prompt you with that? Or is that just...
No.
Don't worry. But I realize the flaw in my scoring is that it's almost impossible for me to score. I would need to pick Bangin' Whiskies. And given the fact that Jeff's on 57, even if I picked the best whiskey in 3 of the rounds, that would put me in 36, so there would be no way for me to win this. But that's okay. I've still enjoyed playing along. All right, so there are points still to play for with Menno's quiz at the end. Let's jump in and see what folk are thinking about this craziness. I've been ignoring you tonight, and apologies for it. But we've still got Menno. It's the last quiz. It's the last quiz for the season. The last quiz at the end before we break up for summer. And of course, if it's a celebration, if it's a wee party, if it's having fun, we always invite Lord Asshat himself to come and host it for us. Rick Johnson is saying San Francisco is foggy and cold in the summer, so no change at all in alcohol consumption here. Sorry for those of you sweating through your days. Might change for you soon, Rick. Alan Smith is saying, right, folks, up early tomorrow for options or something, opticians maybe. Thanks all and have a good summer. I hope it's good news at the opticians for you tomorrow, Alan. Warren Tanner is saying, that's me away, Roy. Aquavit and Barflies will happy rejoin. I think we're picking up that the Bottleships sent people off, including Jeff, who's supposed to be playing along for the quiz at the end. If you like the Longmorn 18 official bottling, try the 23-year-old special release. Graham Fraser, I wish I could afford it, buddy. And Menno is in saying only in for the last 10 minutes, Roy, ready for the Bottleships. So that's you were looking for your link, buddy. Pete Ed is saying, is the JW supposed to be on the board, Aquaviti? I can't imagine. Aye, it is on the board, and it's a great. Everybody's given this, thrown shade towards this Johnny Walker. It's an absolutely fantastic whiskey. Roddy is never anything but number one Aquavite. Please correct the scores. Oh, somebody rooting for you. Rob Smith is saying, remember, cheating is allowed in a Menno quiz.
Absolutely.
I am really, really hoping that's the case. Rob, seriously. Ginger Genius John is saying, great fun tonight. Hope everyone has a great holiday and see you all in 6 weeks. Cheers, John, and I hope you have a great time too. Just blind tasted my mystery malt batch 2, says Meep 1313. Guessed it was a Glenlivet 7, but it's a Tormore 17. My taste buds are nearly as bad as Aquavite's. Starting to pick up a bit of a reputation. Nice to have you in, Meep. Chris Brown is saying Bottleships was brilliant, Aquavite. Thank you, Chris. You can come again. The effort that goes into it is incredible. And a huge, very, very generous Draman. Enjoy your halls, mate. I'll close with a Bracklet 18 in your honour of Roddy Slancha. And I think that's the Palo Cortado one in the mix there as well. I'll hold this Longmorn 18 up. Danny, thank you very much for that super generous drama, friend. Cheers to you, Danny, up in Speyside. Right. I want to say thank you to everyone. For the people that are hosting a vPub and the pop-up vPubs going forward, we have Jeff. You're up for it?
Yep, I'll give it my best shot.
See you next week, buddy. See you a week from now. I think, Jim, you're thinking about 2 weeks from now, or you're not sure?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll do that.
2 weeks from now, and potentially an August slot as well. More to follow. Fantastic. The same goes for you as well, Jeff, if you're picking up one. And if there's any more slots get filled up, I'll fill it. I'll fill the details in the comments below and the pinned comments. And of course, I'll keep people posted through the YouTube community. So if you're a barfly, you'll get to know. And if you're a patron, you'll absolutely get to know of other people that take up the vPub slots. I'm looking forward to my break, but I guarantee you, you're likely to see me visiting from time to time. I can't stay away, can I? Menno, do you want to do a wee screen share for us? You've done that already, my friend. Thank you so much.
Good to go.
Great stuff. Good to go. We're a wee bit of a gamification to finish on with Menno.
Does everybody have the ABC cards?
No, actually, you would think it's the first time I've done this.
Oh, I see. Roddy and Jim came prepared.
Yeah. I should always have this ready. Right. I'm doing it right now. Let's pick this up. Do a wee share screen. I'll put you up to the top there, Menno. I'll drop down to the bottom. Thank you for your patience, Menno. Please be kind.
Too late for that. Okay, it's 10 questions, and it's all about from grain to glass.
From grain to glass.
Are we ready? Question 1. How much of all barley grown in Scotland is used for making whiskey?
Oh my goodness.
Would that be A, 25%, B, 50%, or C, 90%?
Well, we know it's not going to be A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone put your hand up if you feel confident about answering this? Wow.
But isn't it something that we always had that we forgot about? That, I mean, it was grown for animal feed first.
Yep.
It was just
and beer.
Grain. Yeah, and beer, obviously.
Yep. Wow. Okay.
Then.
I'm ready to take a kicking.
Okay. Kicking on the making. 3, 2, 1. Answers, please. Get B, B, C. Okay, crowd is divided. Well, according to my resources, I think it's somewhere in one of the malt whiskey yearbooks. It should be 90% C.
Wow.
Well, barley is used for making whiskey.
Damn.
Wow.
Roddy 1 for 1. A lot of
wow.
not for 1. The smile on Roddy's face.
Oh wow. You got that right, Rodders, did you?
I did, yes.
Well done.
A guess, or did you have a...
So, as soon as the question came up, 90% came into my head. But then I thought, wait a minute, is the 90% figure how much of the barley used by Scotch whisky is homegrown
Mm-hmm.
and how much is imported. So that was why I wasn't certain
Yep.
about it.
Indeed.
I like Billy Abbott's comment. He's saying those numbers are higher than I expected. I Brainbrook laddie. Nice. And Lochlee. Right, smashing. Okay, that was it. I'm on a donut.
Question 2. How much of all the peat extracted in the UK is used for the whiskey industry? Would it be
Extracted in the UK.
yes, A 1 to 3%, B 15 to 20%, or C 50 to 60%? So how much of all the peat that's extracted in the UK is used in the whiskey industry?
These are interesting questions, Menno.
Thank
I'm
you.
still annoyed, but they're interesting questions. Okay.
Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Answers, please. A, C, A. Okay. Good to see that most of you are bouncing back. It is indeed less than 5%. 1 to 3% is actually used in the whiskey industry.
Can I put up my argument for that? That
Yeah, by all means. By all means.
We're still in. So peat has just become that very argumentative thing that it depends on where you are. So obviously the UK, yes, but actually I'll not put up an argument. I've fallen flat there. But it's something that we need to be very careful with now, because it can't be used technically in farming anymore.
Jim, did you get that right or wrong?
Wrong. Very wrong.
Oh, okay. Now I understand why you're putting up arguments.
Okay, then quickly on to question 3. Yeast is essential not just to the fermentation process, but for adding flavor to whiskey as well. But how long ago did we, as mankind, learn what yeast was?
Oh,
Would it have been A, roughly 150 years ago? B, it was discovered by Isaac Newton in the 1600s? Or is it C, since the days of the ancient Greeks 2,500 years ago? When did we discover or understand what yeast actually is?
I was expecting
it does.
5 minutes ago to be thrown in there somewhere, but
What if I still don't know what yeast is?
look down.
And a Marmite?
okay.
Okay, answers 3, 2, 1. A, B, D, C. I can tell you that
Roddy's
for
right.
a very, very long time we had absolutely no idea yeast existed or what it was. So it's only been 150 years ago that we actually learned what yeast is and what it does.
Amazing.
Yep. We just always assumed that if you throw barley or fruit in hot water, it would somehow
because
turn
we
into alcohol.
actually have to understand what the thing is and what it's doing. I think I read that.
It's very recent.
Knowing the effect of yeast and knowing what yeast is are rather different, says Billy. Spot on. Spot on. Oh dear. Okay, I'm struggling for the fast part tonight.
Come on, question 4 then. The word yeast derives from the Dutch word gist or yeesten as a verb, which means what? What does yeesten or gist mean? Is it A, to rise, B, to ferment, or C, to go rotten, to fester?
Menno, this is your last time ever on the vPub. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy.
Fully understand. Only had it coming.
No, this is what we want. This is what we want.
I'll give you a clue. Maybe that can help.
No.
If you, the saying "you get the gist" comes from gisten.
Yep.
Okay, then answers in 3, 2, 1. You got A, B. Well, I can be merciful. It's both to rise or to ferment.
Oh,
Both
thank
use.
goodness. So we all win. We all get that one.
You will get that one. So is Roddy still on a 4 for 4? Good one.
Wow. Wow.
Excellent. Dare I ask what the other scores are so far?
I am on 2 for 4.
Okay.
I am on 2 for 4, and I also put a D down for one of them, and no one noticed.
Oh, it was noticed.
Okay, then quickly to the picture question. Bottle of whiskies are quite important if only to catch the customer's eye, and sometimes liberties are taken with provenance and inheritance. Which distillery falsely claims provenance dating back to 1488? So where would you find this cork? On which bottle? Is it A, on a bottle of Tomintal, B, on a bottle of Tullibardine, or C, on a bottle of Tamnavulin? Which
That's a cracker.
brand has a crown with the year 1488
That's a
on
cracker.
it? Feeling confident?
Nope.
No.
But I've locked in my answer.
Roddy, if you're gonna smile any harder. Okay.
Roddy's just about to celebrate his pass mark.
Answers in 3, 2, 1. Oh, B. Everybody's going for Tullibardine, and everybody gets the point. Well done, Tullibardine.
Oh,
Apparently, from what I've been told, the year comes from an old brewery or an inn that was established at that time or something like that. It has absolutely nothing to do with the actual distillery, but it's just on the site where the old brewery or inn used to be or something like that.
like Loch Lomond's 1814, Glasgow's 1770.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bushmills 1608. All bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the Friar John Core? What that's even after
1494.
Yeah.
1494.
6 years later. Okay. Question 6. After a complete distillation run through the wash still and then the spirit still, how much usable spirit actually remains?
Wow, this is an educational quiz, Menno, but you're still not getting back.
No. Is it A, around 30%? Is it B, around 50%? Or is it C, around 70%? So how much usable spirit remains after
What
you
does
put the
usable mean?
Yeah.
Well, the stuff you can, the stuff you can actually, I suppose, the stuff you actually collect in the spirit safe from everything that goes through the wash still and then into the spirit still.
Right.
Stuff that's actually used and goes into a cask.
Are we talking about 2.8 times distilled? Are we talking?
These are the
a complete
important
distillation run, wash still and then spirit still. So 2 times, I suppose, Jim. You're not wiggling your way out of this one. 3, 2, 1. Answers, please.
I feel confident, but just don't ask me to explain it.
A, C, A, a lot of A's. 1 C, absolutely around 30% is what actually usable. Well done, most of you, except Jim.
I still need a point for a pass mark. Menno, just get me a
Oh,
pass.
you'll get it.
Get me a
There's
pass mark.
plenty of easy questions left, Roy. Don't worry.
I've spent too long in Ireland. Everything's triple distilled.
Question 7. The word distillery comes from the Latin verb destillare, which means what? Destillare, does it mean to heat up or to make warm? Does it B, mean to collect from something? Or is it C, to drip off? What does the Latin word destillare actually means?
Oh, I never paid attention in Latin.
I went to schools that didn't learn that stuff.
If it's any consolation, I had to look it up myself.
Okay, I'm just gonna go. Locked in.
Okay, then answers in 3, 2, 1. B, C, A, B. Roddy. It's happened. You've stumbled. It was C to drip off.
Oh, Roddy. I mean, I'm bummed as well. I'm still on 4. Still struggling. I was thinking of for destination. It's a verb, though, isn't it? It's not a noun.
No, distillate. It's in the question. Verb.
I know.
Oh.
No, I know you said that, but I know. Sorry.
No. I'm the one who should be sorry.
No, you will be. You will be. There's time.
Okay, quickly. Question 8. A recent episode of the Liquid Antiquarian taught us that maturing whiskey for the sake of maturation and for the sake of improving the spirit rather than transport or storage actually dates back to when? Is it A, the mid-1700s? Is it B, around the same time as the 1823 Excise Act? Or is it C, around the time of World War I when the Immature Spirit Act was passed, which dictates that whiskey has to be matured for 3 years minimum?
Oh.
Did you pay attention? Did you watch the episode?
No, I've got all the Liquid Antiquarian episodes stacked for my holiday. So I don't.
So
I think
it'll be,
I've got 2. I've got the origin of Scotch being in Holland, one to, or the Netherlands to watch, and I've got
this one about maturation.
This one, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna guess here.
Okay, rooting then for you. Answers in 3, 2, 1. It's A. I can't make out Jim's. B. Okay. Well, the banana skin was the Excise Act period because that's what's usually been told, but they actually found sources that suggest that whiskey maturation, for the sake of maturation, actually goes back to the mid-1700s.
Of course they did.
Oh,
Just get to the point, Menno.
Right, pass mark.
Just say
Right,
Jim's
that's
wrong
finished
and
for
move
summer,
on.
everyone. Thanks for joining the vPub tonight. I look forward to welcoming you back at the end of August. Thank you, Menno. Take care, everyone. That's pass mark. Goodbye.
Yeah, but you'll get a 7. I just know it. You'll get a 7. I've actually catered the asset question to you. Now I'm getting ahead of myself.
Thank you, but it's a bit late to pander.
Question 9 now. Question 9. Now the go-to glass for many. Glencairn at some point in history was also what? Was it A, a long-lost grain distillery? Is it B, a brand of blended Scotch? Or is it C, a now extinct barley variety? So Glencairn was at some point in history. What?
I was waiting for a street in Glasgow.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. B, C, A, B, a brand of blended Scotch, a long-lost grain distillery, or an extinct barley variety. I'll make you a bit happier, Roy. It was B, a brand of blended Scotch. It was actually, I think, one of Walker's and Sons brands.
You know, out of all 9 questions we've had tonight, that's the only one I had a modicum of confidence about. It's incredible. Thank you, Menno. I mean that sincerely. Jimmy Legg is saying, this will be embarrassing when you don't get the question that was designed for you, Aquavite. Isn't it true? I'm here to take all the embarrassing things.
Okay. You're on a 6. You're on a 6. Okay.
I'm on a 6. Yeah.
Onwards to the actual asset questions, as if there haven't been 5 already. Over the years, how many distilleries have appeared in the Fauna and Flora range? Is it A, as much as there are currently operating lowland malt distilleries? Is it B, as much as the current number of distilleries owned by Diageo? Or C, as much as there are operational distilleries starting with the letters A, B, and C? Bring on the hatred. Bring on the hatred.
When you say operational distilleries owned by Diageo, or sorry, when you say distilleries owned by Diageo, do you mean malt distilleries?
Sure. Yeah, Malta.
Remember Balcones? It was brought up earlier.
Okay.
A malt distillery.
I'm talking about. Well, let's talk about
Distilleries
Scotch distilleries.
So not Rowan Co. Then
I'm
Not
locked
Rowan
in.
Co. Not Balcones. No.
I'm locked in on the asshat, Menno.
Okay. Ours. Anyone on a 9 for 9?
Do you mean in the chat? There's probably
in the chat. I mean in the chat.
and the knowledgeable whiskey folk. I've not been even shouting them out tonight. Let's see if there's anyone. Gene Kelly's on a 5. Kyle Taylor's on a 4. Bruce is on a 5. Celebrating the past. Danny's on a 5. Rob Smith is, I can only imagine what the asset's going to be. Jimmy Legg is saying 0, but he can't be. Graham Fraser's on 9 out of 9. What?
Wow.
Go to the
Nerd.
top. He's always at the
Come
top
on,
of the class,
Graham.
though. This is Roy Styles, his false graph, but it's catered to his knowledge. Okay.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. Roy's going for C, B. Okay, distilleries with the letters A, B, and C. That's well in the 40s, actually. It's way too much.
Oh,
So
shit.
that's definitely wrong.
Okay, you and I are going to have a fight.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just put you out of your misery. It was A. There have been 22 releases or 22 distilleries in the Fauna and Flora range, and there are currently 23 active lowland distilleries. So it was A.
Oh,
I regret nothing.
I think I want to. Where did you get your information for such details? 22 flora and fauna distilleries. Where was your source for that?
Somewhere.
yeah, I get the impression he's making most of this up.
Yeah.
I scored 10 out of 10, by the way.
Well done, Jim.
Thanks. It was easy.
Right. Okay, Menno. Here's the flora and fauna distilleries. Are you ready?
Yep. If I'm happy to be corrected.
Okay. Aberfeldy, Altmore, Athrusk, Balmainic, Benrinnes, Bladnoch, Blair Athol, Kalila, Clynelish. How petty am I, by the way? Craig Ellichay, Dilune, Dufton, Glen Elgin, Glen Spey, Glen Dillon, Glen Lossy, Inchgour, Linkwood, Manickmore, Mortlack, Pittyvake, Rosebank, which is the one that you're alluding to being disappearing, Royal Brackla, Speyburn, Strathmill, and Chinenic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Does that mean that we all get a point on the asshat at the end?
Yep. If I get it wrong, everybody gets a point.
We all take a point. We all take a point.
So it was actually answer B was probably closest to the correct answer, and answer A was definitely wrong. So that's fully on me, and everybody gets a point.
I got 6 out of, well, unless I get a 7 if I take that at the end, but a 6 at the end. So Graham Fraser still got his 10 out of 10, which that's just amazing. How does he do it? Aquavita, you're still in last place. I'm being reminded by Rod Graham, who's in live and in the chat.
The very important question. Very important question from Jimmy Legg. What's your source, Roy?
Jimmy Legg is saying, I've seen Roy fight. Menno, you don't have to be concerned. You've not seen me fight. You've just seen me respond to threats from you, Jimmy Legg. Bruce Bernard is saying, red card him, Roy. I think he has been red carded. Honestly, Bruce, Rob Smith is saying, how did I end up at -3? Oh, it's just terrible. Well done, everybody. We have to say well done to Graham Fraser. How he managed such a feat. He's just an amazing student of whiskey. It's just amazing. You can get 10 out of 10 on that. Roddy, you did well tonight. How did you get on that? 8?
8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10, depending on how we're scoring the last.
So you only got one fully wrong. Hats off to you, Roddy. Here's to Graham and here's to Roddy as well for bringing it. You know that's why I invite you, right? that we all. I hope that I can continue to pick up the knowledge by osmosis. Well done, fantastic. Menno, I want to be nice to you.
Yeah, I haven't been nice to you, so.
I just can't. That was so. Peter is saying, hooray, an over pass mark score. Proudly for Gene Kelly's celebrating a 6 out of 10, proudly, but far from 10. Firstcraft is saying 7 out of 10, great, my best Menno score ever. Amazing. Ted Brooks is saying, I'll take this as a blessing. An 8 out of 10 for Ted Brooks as well. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Listen, guys, if you've got the time and you've got the notion and the mood and the wherewithal, hang back so that I can raise a wee glass to you after the credits roll tonight. But I gave you very short notice for this. That tonight was supposed to be a completely different thing. It was an Aquavita versus another party that we'll have in the future, but one person wasn't available, so the wheels fell off a wee bit for that. Less than a week ago, I reached out to all of you to ask, would you be up for this? And you all said, to a man, aye. It doesn't matter about the scores of the quizzes and the Bottleships and the challenges. It does. It absolutely does matter. I'm speaking about personally. It doesn't matter if I am bruised from said scores and said gaming and things like that. It's a privilege for me to be able to hang out on a Thursday night with people like you, with people like everybody that's in tonight. But it's amazing to have your trust that you'll step up at short notice and play any old game that I'm willing to throw at you. And even stay till the dying embers in order for Menno to brutalise us when we've already been through it for a so-called fun gamification event. I hope you've had fun despite it. Jeff, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you for everything that you do on YouTube. Thank you for the fun that you bring, the tongue-in-cheek humour, the laid-back, easy-to-watch style. It's amazing. Jim, thank you for your constant canniness. Your pragmatism, it's amazing. Always having something to offer and something else to offer as a backup as well. Thank you for continuing to have your passion in whiskey now that you're in. It's your job as well as your hobby. Roddy, I need to spend a bit more time with you. I need to learn some more stuff. I remain a student. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comfort. Thanks for your education over the years. Menno, good night.
Do you not mean goodbye forever, Roy?
Andy's gone.
There he goes. Seriously, Menno, thank you so much. Also, what Menno has suggested, and this specifically tonight was a typical Lord Asshat Menno quiz. Mm-hmm. But what he's also suggested is if anybody, the Jeffs of the world, the Jims of the world, anybody that's going to do a pop-up vPub for the summer, Menno is not necessarily available all of the Thursdays, but if he is, he'll step up to support for it to take a wee quiz at the end and keep the feels and everything going as well. Menno, I'm not in love with you right now, but you remain a superstar. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And even the hard questions tonight were absolutely on theme with the quiz at the end. They were thoughtful and educational, and they did prompt me to think about stuff and actually how little I know at times. Cheers, buddy. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Please, gentlemen, thank you. Stay told beyond the credits. I want to say good night to the beautiful whiskey folk and dedicated barflies. It'll just take me a minute, and if you're still around, I can raise a wee glass tea beyond. Thank you, Menno, my friend. Thank you. All the best to you. Thank you, Jeff. Keep it going, big guy. Thank you, Jim. Love everything that you're doing. I can't wait to come over to Belfast and hang out with you for a wee bit. I've got a moth in the room tonight as well. And Roddy, thank you, buddy. I hope to see you soon. Cheers, fella. Well, that was something else. A lot of spinning plates, a lot of oddness, a lot of weirdness. I'm going to be licking my wounds in my bed. Actually, no, I'll be licking my wounds in my summer hammock, not in my bed tonight. I'm away for probably a week or two longer than I normally would be this year. But, there's stuff going on with family and things, and it's just appropriate for me to take a slightly extended break. That said, the vPub will be back with you at the end of August. Those 6 weeks will go by very, very quickly, especially when you've got people like Jeff and Jim and potentially other people stepping in to look after you on a Thursday evening. A dram's come in from Graham Young as well. Cheers to all-star group of collaborators. That was a fantastic fun. Cheers to a restful summertime. Graham Young, you superstar. It's always amazing to have you here, buddy. It's wonderful to have you in buying me a dram right at the end. Thank you, buddy. Jimmy Legg has bought me a dram as well, saying Menno did use his Argyll Peninsula on us. He did something. Cheers, Jimmy. Thank you very much for your support as always, buddy. And cheers to Graham Young in Canada as well. Thank you. 2 Canadian friends. Graham Fraser is celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 63 months. Saying have a great summer break, Roy and Barflies. Thank you so much, Graham. Thank you for your support and congratulations for an amazing score on the quiz tonight. Have a special wee dram on your holiday from Rick Johnson. You're going to pick up another dram here. And he's saying, Roy, and enjoy the time away. Rick in San Francisco. Rick over at, what's the name of the channel? Rick, the Whiskey. Just click on Rick Johnson. He's doing fantastic content out there on YouTube as well. Jimmy Leggs bought me another dram that I missed earlier. How was this still fun? Now, it's a bit too late to be polite with me. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Rick. Cheers to you both. I hope I've not missed too much. Ted Brooks, super generous. Ted has bought 10 Aquavita gift memberships for 10 of you out there. Well, Helen celebrated being a member for 63 months as well, saying, cheers, Roy, have a fab summer break with the family. You too, I hope the summer down in Campbelltown is wonderful and very kind to you, Helen. It must be fun to have Springbank, Glen Scotia and Glengyle just down the road. Eric, wait, my pal Eric's in tonight. My goodness, Eric, how are you keeping, fella? It's been a long time since I've seen that wee handsome face. I'm thinking about returning for my 5th trip to Scotland in September. Once it gets into you, you need to get into it. It's just the way it is, Eric. It's wonderful to see you, fella. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you for the drama, Eric. Cheers to you. Let me know when that trip is. Be nice to catch up and see how you're doing. Lachlan McKenzie's saying, good night, Roy. Hope you have a good break and night, folks. Tata for now. Yuri is saying, thanks a lot, Aquaviti, for such entertaining vPub. Have a great holiday. Thank you so much, Yuri. Wonderful to see you. And Rob is saying, have a great vacation. Good night, Barflies, and great vPub tonight. I hope it was great. It's always a bit weird for me to judge these kind of things, but I had fun. I did warn Roy it would be a hard quiz. Not my fault if he didn't study. That, strictly speaking, was not Menno's words. He felt confident that we could score well at it, but that was, wow. That might be potentially the most brutal ever. Pedro Menezes, and I almost missed you, Pedro. A bit late, wishing you all an amazing summer break. No problem, Pedro. It's wonderful to have you. Pedro over in Brazil. I hope the Brazilian summer is absolutely good to you too, fella. Be nice to catch up with you whenever you're over here again. All that is left to do is for me to raise a wee glass to you all. Remind you all that there is places to go over the summer while I'm hiding. I will have to put my head above the parapet from time to time to see what's happening and things. I would like to pop in on the occasional Thursday night when there's pop-up vPubs and things like that. No promises though, because when you make promises to your family, those take priority, right? However, I'll be back here at the end of August. It will be the same as every summer that I take a break. I'll miss you very, very dearly. I'll look forward to getting back here behind the bar and winding down to the end of the year. But until then, until the end of August, I'm going to raise this glass and thank you all for your support once more at the start of 2025. It's amazing to have you here. Stay tuned on Patreon. Stay tuned through the comment section. I'm not really on social media these days. I'm benefiting from taking a break from that. I apologize for those of you that are still out there. But in the meantime, I'll raise this glass and remind you all that you're very dearly loved. Have a fantastic summer. And I'll see you back here at the end of August. Until then, Slanjava. See you soon, folks.